วัสดีครับเนี่ยตอนแรกว่าจะไม่ดูวันนี้แม่งเห็นคู่แล้วไม่ดูไม่ได้เห็นคู่แล้วพลาดบ่ได้พี่ก็อยากรู้ว่าทีมแฟตแม่งของจริงแค่ไหนเหมือนกันนี่ยังเรายังไม่ได้ตกรอบสวัสดีครับสวัสดีครับสวัสดีทุกคนด้วย
since it's pretty early in some parts of the world like North America and Dublin. Shout out to our production team. We're here in Singapore as Icons 2022 continues today with the group stage. 4 new teams make their debut and their road to the crown starts right here. Hi everyone, I'm Daniel Digon Gonzalez and joining me for absolute S-tier analysis today, it's the noise analysis desk. That's what I'm calling it because you guys make a lot of noise and people got to hear it all. It's Riku and TJ. Riku, how are you?
Doing great. I mean, yesterday we got to see the WCS teams sadly not win a game yesterday, but I'm fine. I'm fine. It's a new day.
Welcome to what it's like being a WNS fan. TJ, how about you?
Yeah, that's my noise.
Thank you for the noise. Yesterday,
ขอบคุณซับครับขอบคุณน้องปอนอุ้ยซับไปเต็มเลย thank you นะ
Exactly right. Because when we
ป
look
อน
at
คู่แรกยังไงต้องดูว่ะ ทีวันเจอทีมแฟตว่ะถึงแม้ว่าทีวันจะงงแงงไปบ้างก็ตามแต่แม่งพลาดไม่ได้จริงดีครับโคตรอยากเล่นเกมเลยช่วงเนี้ยแต่ไม่ได้เฮียต้องดูแข่งก่อนใช่ไหมไอคิดเหมือนพี่เลยว่ารอบหน้าขอให้บุรีรัมย์กลับไปใช้อาเชนนี่คือตอนนี้พี่ยังไม่รู้ว่าอาเชนนี่มีปัญหาอะไรหรือเปล่านะครับในเรื่องของการเจ็บป่วยไข้แต่เมื่อวานเนี้ยเข้าไปดูที่อันพิมพ์อะวัตเตอร์เจสพิมพ์อะก็คือน้องรู้ตัวแหละว่าน้องเล่นพลาดแล้วน้องก็เฟลมากก็ไปเป็นกำลังใจให้น้องกันนะ
Yeah, well, hopefully teams will continue to innovate and make some good moves, just like we had some good moves yesterday on the broadcast. Didn't have time to roll it, but now we can. There it is. Rafael, get the dance moves on in there. Oh, what are we doing? Oh, there it is.
Wow.
Rafa was like the dancer leader here. Yeah, like he was like leading the routine that we're doing.
I can't tell if
เนี่ยทำไมไทยไม่มีอย่างนี้บ้างวะเฮีย
That's my head. What were we doing?
I don't know.
We were jamming.
But yeah, that was great.
I will say this about Mark. He is infectious in every single desk I've ever been on.
นี่พี่
The weight music is
พี่
rolling.
ไปงัดเสื้อตัวนี้มาใส่เพราะพี่ไปดูเลวานดอฟสกี้มาไอ้เฮียมันชอบใส่แฟตแอนด์ฟิเลียตตัวนี้ซึ่งตัวนี้พี่แม่งเป็นเสื้อคู่พี่กับพี่มดด้วยแต่ตัวที่พี่ใส่อยู่ตรงเนี้ยคือตัวของพี่มดเพราะพี่ผอมลงมากบุรีรัมย์ยังไม่ตกครับลงไป lower bracket ครับนะฮะไปเจอแฟตวูฟ
Oh, for me, it has to be Team Flash's Coyote, right? He had created an impact in the WCS, and when we look back at their tournament run, we look back at his performance, I looked at him as, you know, the big gatekeeper, right? The big gatekeeper, but he can make plays when he is on a carry champion. That early roam enables Team Flash. Look at this timer. It's literally 1 minute and 30 seconds in, and he is slaying everyone. He's skilling everyone. Double kill on this Lucian, and it's so rare to see this quadra kill play at this early in the game.
And from the early game, I think, to the late game, we have Luna on the opposite side, who is the player everyone has been waiting to see on the international stage. He looked really good at the Horizon Cup a year ago, where he was kind of the only Dragon Lane carry who was carrying. Now, a year has passed, Rolster are playing to him. The entire world is in a little bit more of a Dragon Lane meta. He is the player that needs to stand up for Korea to make an impact on the world stage, something they've not looked too good for so far.
ขอให้อาเชนนี่ฟื้นตัวก่อนวันแข่งเนาะสวัสดีครับ
successfully yesterday with Omega, but there's 10 of us broadcast talent here. 7 of us had put Luna as one of the top 5 players to watch, so we'll keep an eye out for Rolster Wise Dragon Laner. For me, we lost a little bit of hope yesterday or last week with Sentinels going down, but the new hope, it's Immortals and specifically Levmont. If Levmont is, or if the team around Levmont are planets, Levmont is the moon and the sun and everything.
I was going to say the moon's kind of the
Yeah, I almost
Dagon.
got it. The sun. Levmont is basically the heartbeat of that squad. And if they're going to have a chance later today in their matchup, it's going to be
พี่ครับขอ2ตัว ADC ไว้แต่แรงแพท
All
นี้
right, today we're going to be watching the first matches of groups A and D. And before we get into it, we pulled all of our casters
Lucian
to get their predictions on those two
เอา
groups.
เอาแบบ
You can see group A right on in there. And
เมคเพลย์ง่ายๆเลยนะ
we like Flash and Nova.
I know, right?
Flash
Everybody
Noble.
is
Lucian
excited
1
with this in this analyst desk.
Yeah, the only people that don't agree here are Hells and
วารัต
Kangas.
หรือคอกิ
So I will say one thing that's interesting. I don't know if this
แต่วารัต
reflects
วารัตมันจะไม่ได้เป็น DPS ไง มันจะเป็นตัวโป๊กไง
Nova.
Yes.
You know, I don't know if they'll
คอกิแล้วกัน
But that is interesting because that would mean that this is the first time any team has beaten a Chinese roster in a BO3 set. That would be what needs to happen for Team Flash to leave this group.
That's right.
In first place.
And I had confirmation. It is in order.
Wow.
Again,
หรือ
all these predictions were made before
ถ้า
even the
ถ้าเมน
playoffs
ได้
started.
จริง ๆ นะ
So we'll see if
อันนี้คือเอาเพย์นะ
with these
ดาเว่น
selections here because we know
ดาเว่นมีผลในแรงมาก
staying strong.
ตอนนี้
And
อือ
now
หือ
we'll take a look at Group D.
แต่
This is
คง
where
ต้อง
it
พ
gets
กแบบ
a little messy and a little
พกซับไปด้วย
jumbled
อ่ะ
predictions
พกซับ
here.
ลูๆไปด้วยอ่ะ
JDG, everyone has JDG except
course.
Rafa, who doesn't pick JDG at all with Immortals and Liberty. That's some hardcopia. We got Rolster Y making it on through. Oh boy.
It's half and half. I feel like it's between Liberty, IMT. Well, it's not half and half. It's between three, right? Everyone JDG.
I find it so hard to like. Rolster are the messy one. Everyone agrees except for Rafa that JDG are going to be the best team out of this group.
Yes.
What everyone's questioning is what that second slot is going to be. And I think Liberty, I think Rolster, and I think Immortals are all in with a shot. But Rolster are the strongest team coming in from what we have seen so far, even with how shaky Korea has looked as a region.
Absolutely. I agree with that. I just told myself I would always pick a North American squad, but after watching JDG
how they
play
get.
in the play-in stage, I was like, second place is good. Second's
Yeah,
good.
it's okay.
And then again, they'll have to get through Liberty. They'll have to get through several of the other squads as well, roster Y. So it is a very difficult group to have one of the underdogs make it on through, but I am hopeful. Now, it's time to bring in Kangas, the fourth member of our crew, the Minnesotan muscle. Kangas,
เจ็ด
you made a bold prediction and bet during Horizon Cup last year. You're not going to do it again this time, are you?
D-Gun, let me give you a little history lesson. Let me remind
Okay.
you and everybody at home, 223 days ago, I bet Old Glory that North America would make it out of the group stages at Horizon Cup.
Is that
and
your
into
beard?
the knockout stage. That is my beard. Thank
Okay.
you for asking. 220 days ago, Tribe failed to make it out of the group stage and into knockout stage after a tough loss to SBTC from Southeast Asia. Now, coincidentally, 220 days ago was also the last time that I shaved.
อยากไว้เข้าอย่างนี้ได้บ้างอ่ะ ที่ไว้ไม่ได้
220 days,
Huh?
that's a long time.
มึงถ่ายเข้าเหรอ
days of work, 220 days of effort, 220 days of dreams. Dreams of one day coming
I feel like
back
you just
to the
wrote.
international stage
Yeah.
and
We were
proving to
there.
the
Huh?
world, proving to
That's me and you two,
everyone
Ted.
No, we're
Word out.
blurry.
that the
Who knows who that is?
WNS is
Huh?
a threat. So yes, I will be betting the old pride of North America that Immortals will make
Hi.
it out of the group stage and
Steve
into the
Kangas.
knockout stage at Icons. And I don't know about you, D-Gon and TJ and Riku, but I can't wait to see what old American Muscle looks like after 365 days.
Hey, Steve Kangas, quick check. We
Yeah.
are still talking about your beard, right? That is
Yes.
what. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah, I don't know, Kangas. I think you went from looking like a normal Kangas there to like truck driver Kangas with the American afterwards.
Well, the secret is
backbone.
it's the same guy. You can honestly pull off the look either way. But yeah, the beard does go by many names, of course. But I just got to say, I think that I could go for a full 365. I do think Immortals have this. And Rafa agrees with me.
Ooh.
Yeah,
So there's two of us.
I mean, I agree too. I agree too.
Three of us.
There's three of us, almost
Okay.
dozens. Well, we'll see if Old Glory will be able to stay in on your chin or if it will fall to the ground. We'll
Glory.
by the end of the week. Thank you, Kangas. All right, That's gonna be something to watch
actually
for.
his rap name.
yeah,
Old
Old
Glory.
Glory.
Old Glory.
Old Glory Kangas.
Ah.
All right, one player that should have a pretty cool rap name. It's Kinzen, the jungler from Liberty. While his beard may not be as impressive as Kangas's, his game is much better. Let's take a look.
Então, meu nome é Bernardo, mais conhecido como Quinzin, jungler da Liberty Esports. Meu nome, Quinzin, ele vem na verdade do meu pai, que ele é Marcos, o apelido dele então é Kim, e disso, os amigos do meu pai, quando a gente jogava bola e tal, eles
เรา
chamavam
ว่าทีมแฟลตจะ
Quinzin, e eu achei muito da
พี่ว่า
hora.
พี่ว่าภาษีทีมแฟลตดีกว่านะ
Então, eu diria
Joga
que eu
T1,
jogo
né?
o LoL de PC ali tem cerca de um ano e meio, e eu não tinha muita condição de jogar o LoL de PC, mas quando eu soube que ia lançar o Wild Rift, eu comecei a jogar, eu comecei a treinar e estudar mais o LoL. Então, eu estudo a música desde meus 10 anos de idade, então dessa época aí, dos meus 10 anos de idade, ali dos 8, 12, eu jogava tanto bola, eu sempre fiz muitos esportes, eu sempre fui muito imperativo. O próprio futebol eu já cheguei a jogar profissional.
Quinzinho ele ajudou a gente numa fase muito difícil, que a gente tava procurando novos players, então a gente achou ele foi um alívio pro nosso time.
E aí acabou que me chamou pra fazer um tryout, um teste, e eu acabei entrando, né, acabei fazendo esse teste, conseguindo entrar na Liberty. E aí
ชุด
que
อย่าง
mudou
เงี้ย
minha
ชุด
vida,
ที่มันไม่
porque
ฉูดฉาด
eu tive
เวอ
que
ร์อะ
adaptar, eu tive que deixar os meus estudos de lado, a minha música ali, mas nunca deixou de
สวย
ser
ดี
hobby.
สวยดี
A relação dele com
กางเกงกรมท่าเสื้อขาว
rock e ele tem uma
อือ
flauta
ฮะ
também.
ลายด
Quando ele toca a flauta, a gente fica escutando.
Me-
Anima a gente, às vezes dá vontade de
ำรอย
xingar.
เป็นเหมือนหินอ่อนฟ้าหน่อยๆมั้ง
Mas isso, no geral, é muito positivo.
Então, eu segui com isso, e aí acabou que a Liberty virou o meu sonho e minha carreira profissional.
Então, foi um achado muito especial, porque a gente confiou bastante nele e ele deu o que falar, ele entregou as expectativas.
Desde que eu entrei na Liberty, eu me senti muito
เนี่ยแม่งดูดีมากเลย
Ambos
กับ
os
การใส่รอง
jogadores
เท้าขาวแล้วใส่ชุดเนี้ย
eu me senti muito acolhido pelo fato de a gente
มันดู
ter
กีฬา
unidade
ดี
de
อ่ะ
time,
สำหรับพี่
então
อ่ะ
a gente tem uma sinergia tanto dentro de game quanto fora. Inclusive a Liberty, ela é um time que tem a maior média de jogadores com menor de idade. Então, eu diria que por um lado, você ser mais novo, tipo, ajuda muito em mecânica.
สวัสดีตอนบ่ายครับทอย
Mas a parte mental talvez é a que mais consiga ter mais dificuldades.
Quinzinho ele é uma pessoa muito animada e ele é muito jovem, então ele ajuda muito fora e dentro do jogo. E tem uma característica dele que ele é muito emotivo. Então, se o clima do time tá ruim, ele percebe e ele tenta animar todo mundo pra cima. E isso faz muita diferença no dia a dia e no jogo.
Porra, a gente é como uma família, então esses caras pra mim é tudo. Pelo lado, acho que pessoal dos times, pelo lado de fora dos jogos, eu acredito que o Brasil ele tem um estilo muito
ยูทูบ
divertido
มักคนดู
de
ป่ะ
jogar.
พี่
Eu acho
ทำไมเหรอ
que é um jeito muito mais feliz, é um jeito muito mais alegre de se jogar o jogo. Agora, dentro de jogo, eu acredito que o Brasil tem aquela parada de, tipo, você tá fightando o tempo todo, você tá comprando todas as teamfights, pegam composições pra acabar conseguindo ter a melhor fight do jogo.
Yes, they're TPing to Baron because Slive is sitting in the bot lane. Oh wait, actually this might be too much. Freaks is low. Sentinels are approaching. Type is not here. Type is not here.
เหมือนดูอยู่คนเดียวไม่นี่คนอื่นก็พิมพ์คุยอยู่
Objective MTS is into the pin. Baron secured. What can Sentinels do?
ช่องเราเป็นอย่างเงี้ยยังไม่ชินอีกเหรอ
The first kill
เออ
Now they're looking for more here on the MTS. On double the boss. Positions perfectly in the fight. Triple kill the boss. Quadra kill the boss. Is he gonna go for more? It's just the 1-0. Mana Freezer actually stole the pentakill. But Liberty with another prime ace.
É uma coisa que na minha cabeça
ทำไมมันวิดีโอเป็น Liberty วะ
que
เมื่อกี้นี้
vem uma palavra de tipo mundial.
กูดู
de
agenda สเกจดูมันเป็น
uma coisa de caramba.
T1 กับ
disputando
กับ
contra os melhores.
ทีมแฟลตไม่ใช่เหรอวะ
Brasil
ใครรู้มั่งวันนี้คู่อะไรบ้าง
tipo, a disparância, como a gente tem um potencial grande no Mundial, então eu acredito que tá representando isso no primeiro Icons é muito importante pra mim e eu tenho certeza que eu vou dar o meu melhor.
Love that there by Kinzen.
มันเป็น
One of
Liberty
the
วะ
great things about international play, you get to see how much it means to them, how diverse of a background that they have, and the pressure that they have, and the pride that they have representing their region. So thank you very much to Kinzen for giving a little bit of insight there. A player of Liberty who is playing one of the 8 teams playing today, and here are the 4 matches that will be happening on
นี่ไง
group stages.
T1 ทีมแฟลต Liberty มาทำเหี้ยอะไร
versus T1.
Liberty กับโรเตอร์มาทำไม
Levitan take on Nova. Korea's top team, who finished 4th at Horizon Cup. Roster Y will make their debut against Liberty. And here it is. the
T1 Team Fat ครับ
and it
อ่า
closes it out when WNS champs Immortals take on very strong J.
เฮ้ยบอกก่อนวันนี้พี่อาจจะดูไม่หมดนะ
Oh,
JDG ตอนแรกกะจะไม่ขึ้นวันนี้ด้วย
Let's start at the top there
แต่
with
ทีวันกับทีมแฟตนี่แม่งไม่ดูไม่ได้จริงว่ะ
Flash ranked number 1 in Southeast Asia. Obviously, there's a lot of pressure for them.
ชายจีสูโคโยเต้
Shy, Zizu,
Ellie,
Coyote,
Empty.
Ellie, and Empty. There's a lot of former mobile game champs here and a lot of talent here, Rico.
ตบเกาหลีให้ดูหน่อยดิ เวียดนาม ทีมแฟตได้กล่าวไว้ว่า เขารอคอยการมาของไอคอนแทบที่จะไม่ไหวแล้ว เพราะว่าการเล่นในเซาท์อีสต์เอเชียมันน่าเบื่อเกินไป พี่ติว่ารายการนี้ทีมไหนเต็งFPX ครับ
And I think they're going to be the team
APX จีน
to be the first team to take any games off of the WRL. They are going to be one of the only teams outside of the Chinese region that is competing with the Chinese teams.
All right. Well, their first opponent before they get to the WRL opponents is the WCK. It is T1 from Korea. They were able to take
Daejong,
down Korea
JY,
twice, but
Core,
couldn't get a map
BDG,
off of the team as we take a look at the
Penguin.
roster right here one more time. Daejong, JY, Core, BDG, and Penguin.
แต่เจจองมันไม่แข็งนะเว้ย พี่ว่าเลนเจจองมันไม่แข็งอ่ะ
From the play-in stage.
Well, we were
เจจองมันเก่งพวกการเล่นอ่ะเก่งพวกตัวยืนยื้ออ่ะ
Key on duelists like Ari ran the map for the WCK. Now that we get to international, it's been much more about the sidelines. Jaejong is one of the best top laners in the world, gets the support of JY. They have a really strong force in the top lane. And then as we saw versus Rex, they're also leaning into this AD carry meta a little bit.
เกือบโดนเล็กตบมา
Became one of the star players on this roster, having a Lucian that got turbo farmed and then
yeah.
basically single-handedly won the game.
And it's crazy to me because I remembered back in the WCK, they also definitely rely on BDG's early game aggression. And the fact that even if they don't get early kills, the way that they funnel every jungle camp, every turret plate, just to make sure that he is the one who has the highest generation of gold to carry these fights, I think that's an amazing way to approach that sort of play style.
Yeah, we want to see BDG do that clearly and consistently, right? T1 had a little bit of trouble earlier, and another player that's looking to step up for this T1 roster is Core, the mid laner. He's hoping both remaining Korean teams can move on to the next round. Let's take a listen.
Let's go
티어 와일드리프트 팀 미드라이너를 맡고 있는 코어 정용훈이라고 합니다. 우선 지금 바로 한국이 안 돌아가 된다는 생각에 되게 기쁘고요. 그리고 더 오래 저를 더 많이 증명할 수 있는 그런 기회가 있을 것 같아서 굉장히 기분이 좋습니다. 좀 빨리 끝낸 것 같았거든요. 그러니까 그 넥서스를 밀자마자 저희가 되게 다 기뻐서 그냥 이거 한 번만 더 이기면 끝난다. 그냥 원래 이게 우리다 이런 식으로 서로 다독이면서 기뻐했던 것 같습니다. 부담감이 없다고 하면 그건 좀 거짓말인 것 같긴 한데 부담감보다는 약간 자긍심이라고 해야 되나? 좀 자신감이 좀 더 생기는 것 같아요. 이 T1 유니폼을 입었을 때. 저희가 이제 그룹 스테이지에 한국 팀이 2팀이 남게 됐는데 롤스터와이랑 같이 함께 되게 높은 곳까지 올라갔으면 좋겠습니다. 이제 그룹 스테이지는 더 강한 팀들을 만나는 만큼 더 다듬어서 다른 그런 루트도 만들어야 될 것 같기 때문에 일단 좀 더 아직은 부족하지만 연습을 할 수 있기 때문에 지금까지 올라오는데 굉장히 많은 일이 있었지만 우리는 사실 여기까지 올라온 것만으로 만족할 만한 사람들이 아니기 때문에 더 많이 올라가자.
And I think the big thing that we need to see for Core to hit those goals is a return to his classic style. More of that Ari, more of those duelists in the mid lane.
Yeah, thank you to Core for sharing his thoughts on the team, on Korea's chances, and what it means to represent T1 against such a prestigious organization. Used to winning championships. Let's see if they'll be able to do it. And it starts here with Flash against T1. So who you got? We'll go with you, Riku.
Okay, of course, very obvious. I think it's gonna be
ซึมไม่หายจากเมื่อวานซึมจัดเมื่อวานแม่งซึมจริงเมื่อวานพี่ยังซึมเลย
Really good. That's it.
เฮ้ยทุกคนให้ทีมแฟตหมดว่ะ
Really good.
All right.
ทุกคนให้ทีมแฟตหมดว่ะ
Flash are also really good. I think T1
แต่ทีมแฟตแม่งดุจริง
on the flip side. So T1 needs to demonstrate. We've seen 3 different styles, all of which look like half of a team. We need to see a full team on any of those styles if they're going to compete with Team Flash.
Yeah, and I think that's part of it for me too. I also picked Flash, #1 squad from WCS. I think it's the fact that T1 came with much larger expectations and then underperformed in the game against J-Team, right? They only got 1 game against the WRL and didn't look great. They just didn't look clean. And I think if you're going to be stepping up against some of the other region's best squads, you need to be able to compete when you're playing against some of these squads not rated as highly. So we'll see if Team Flash will be able to take down T1 here. All right, y'all. Predictions are in, which means the pre-show is finally over, and it's time to get to our first match of the day. Team Flash, T1, Icons 2022 starts right now. Go get your popcorn. Go get your Coca-Cola. We'll see you in a little bit.
โคตรเจ๋งพี่โคตรชอบสเตจนี้เลยอ่ะ จริงๆนะ ความเยอะแต่ดูน้อย ความน้อยแต่ดูแพงเฮียแม่งคืองานศิลป์มากๆไทยไม่มีแข่งครับวันนี้ แต่ว่าคู่แรกพี่แนะนำให้ดูครับ เพราะว่า T1 จากเกาหลีใต้เจอทีมแฟลตจากเวียดนาม
Representar minha região no Group Stage do Icons, eu não tenho palavras para explicar, só digo que eu tô muito feliz e muito grato.
มึงมาบ่อยจังวะ
O potencial é enorme, o Brasil tem que ser reconhecido.
Team by amazing decision making, 2-0 Sentinels, and they're going into the group stage.
É essa energia que contagia completamente ali o stage e que faz do campeonato ser muito mais bonito.
Liberty
The rest of the NA teams is exceptional players, but I think against JDG the expectation going in is definitely going to be that we are the underdog, which in a way makes it great that we're going to be facing them first because it's going to be no pressure.
Into the front lines, huge damage. Hextech ultimated fullers. Devil Jacobs said shut down. A massive team fight.
现在只是刚进入小组赛，
DJD เนี่ยก็
我们会越来越好的。
ก็เต็งแชมป์นะ
要面对后面小组赛里面更强的对手，要保留点实力，所以我们暂时没有拿出所有的实力。
Vou dedicar o máximo que eu conseguir.
ตอนนี้สิ่งที่พี่สนใจมากที่สุดก็คือทีมแฟลตถ้าแม่งไปเจอจีนแม่งไหวปะวะ ถ้าทีมแฟลตเจอจีนไหวเนี่ยแม่งมีโอกาสสูงเหมือนกันนะ ที่ทีมแฟลตจะเป็นแชมป์อะ ไอ้เหี้ยแม่งโคตรหายเลยตอนเปิดตัวมาเนี่ย ดูมันดูมัน
Only 4 teams have
เหี้ยมาดแม่งมาราศีแม่งจับอะไอ้เหี้ยทีมแฟลตอะ
That number will be 0 as we start to keep things moving along. Team Flash and T1 will start the day off in their match to see which team continues on the group stage. I'm granted with me.
พี่ว่าไม่แน่นะ
as we get
ทีม
ready
แฟลต
for
อะ
our very exciting first match of the day.
Oh yeah, we're finally gonna see Team Flash. This is the team that absolutely destroyed Flash Wolves. We saw how great Flash Wolves is already, and we're gonna see Team Flash right now, who is apparently a much better team. They talked about it on the analyst desk. If there is
Well,
a team,
It's not apparently, they definitely are. I'm
Right.
gonna go in with that much.
they talked about it on the analyst desk, right? They said if there is a team that beats one of the WR teams, this is the team.
Absolutely. We have to keep our eyes on Team Flash to see what they have in store for us. On the flip side, we also have T1 coming in for the WCK. We've seen so far, they've had some difficulties going into the competition. We saw in the case of Quantum Freaks, they were unable to continue in, and so the fact that T1 was able to make their way through was a very big sign of relief for the WCK, I'm sure.
And T1 did get destroyed by J-Team, but you know that's not a thing that you should be ashamed of because J-Team is such an incredible team. So T1 definitely has to step up their game. And I love how JDG in that video said we're hiding our strengths right now. Like this is the beginning phase. But for T1 right
สำหรับ
now,
พี่
they've already
นะ
gone through the beginning
การ
phase.
แข่งขัน
They've already
e-sport
gone
อะ
through lanes. They have to
จะ
show
น่า
their
ดู
full
หรือไม่
strength
น่า
right
ดู
now.
อะส่วน
Otherwise
หนึ่ง
they
อะ
won't.
อยู่ที่น้ำเสียงของนักพากย์ด้วยนะ
That is a very difficult position.
ถ้าพี่รู้สึกว่านักพากย์แบบ
Constantly on the verge of elimination.
น้ำเสียงทำให้หูเราล้า พี่จะรู้สึกว่าพี่ดูได้ไม่นาน อันเนี้ยในฐานะที่เป็นนักพากย์ด้วยกันอ่ะพี่ต้องชมนักพากย์ชุดอินเตอร์มากเลยว่า เสียงเพราะทุกคน และ energy energy ที่เขาทำให้เรารู้สึกคึกคักอยู่ได้ตลอดเวลา อันเนี้ยต้องชม อันเนี้ยต้องชมจริงๆมันเหมือนนั่งดูวาไรตี้อ่ะมันไม่เหมือนแบบพักเบรกรอแข่งกีฬา ทีมแฟร์ทีวันเกมแรกครับ
I think you had an interesting prediction, right? You had an interesting prediction for this group. You felt like it was what, Team Flash and
แบนอะไร
No.
Oh, Leviathan in this group. Yeah, yeah.
You said Team Flash, Leviathan. So you feel like Team Flash and Leviathan are going to go out of this group.
Yeah.
And so what happens to the Chinese team here? What happens to the W?
ออลาฟว่ะ Respect ban ว่ะ ทีมแฟร์เป็นทีมที่เล่นออลาฟเก่งมากครับ
And we see an Olaf ban, we see a Camille ban, and
เอาสปีดพุทคามิลออก
decides to ban Camille.
โอ้แบนจี้ชีสูเลย สีสูโดนแบนจี้ว่ะ
Team Flash actually decided to go for the target bans.
ออลาฟคลาสสิกนะป่า2 ตัว
Do not want to deal with it, so they ban away the Camille. But Team One also doing a really good job of trying to shut down.
ตัวหลุดบานเลยนะ อย่างเงี้ย
Zizou can be in that jungle.
เซนน่าครับไม่เอาเซนน่าของที่วันอยู่ดี
Going up against you in the WCS, guys like Helios, guys like Shaz rather. You know, we're definitely giving him a run for his money, and so Zizou going to this one will not get his preferred jungle picks.
And I like that we're already seeing this respect.
มีโอกาสที่จะปล่อยยูมิสูงนะครับ
You know, Camille's really good.
แต่ไม่รู้ว่าจะเล่นหรือเปล่า คือยูมิสำหรับพี่อะแม่งดาบ2 คมมากเลย
Team Flash knows
เอาเจ็ตออกฮะ
one of the star players of T1, right? So we see a Jace ban, we see an Olaf ban. These make sense. And as you said, the Kazakhs ban, good ban against Zizou as well. Zizou is a very, very big threat for T1 right now. I've seen this guy play, and I can guarantee you right now, he's gonna do an insane job in that jungle for Team Flash.
And that's something I want.
โอ้ขามาเห็นไหมปล่อยยูมิจริงๆครับ เพราะยูมิมันมีโอกาสที่แบบจะพลาดสูงมาก
Tops out the map. T1 start things off with Delusion.
ลูเซียนครับ
Something that I want to mention about Team Flash is, I believe
อุ๊ย
yesterday
โทษ
we saw Ash
เชี่ยดังป๊อกเลย
right? Omega Esports pulled it
เหมือน
off.
บังคับนะ เหมือนบังคับทีมแฟร์ต้องหยิบยูมินะ ไม่งั้นลูเซียนยูมิแม่งเก่งมากเลยในเลนอ่ะ
So are we gonna see it? Are we not gonna see
ต้อง
it?
ดูครับว่าทีมแฟร์จะแก้ไงครับ
Not gonna be picked against that Lucian though, because Lucian can't dodge the roots from Lux. But just so you guys know, Team Flash is also one of those teams that pulls off this crazy Ash Lux combo.
ลีซิน
Flash has been
หยิบป่าไว้ก่อน ก็เมคเซนส์เพราะว่า
winning WCS.
ออลาฟกับคาซิกมันไปแล้ว
And then now coming into the Icons Global Championship, they are the best in Southeast Asia.
By far.
Yeah, by far. Against teams in the WCS, doesn't seem like anyone can.
โหตัวแม่งตัวมันหลุดเยอะมากว่ะ
Finally be tested. Will be the WCK team first or the WRL team later?
So the
Hockey.
question is this gonna be a mid lane Lucian? And we see a Corki as well. These are
นับว่าเลือกได้ดีครับ เพราะว่า
breakers. We see that coming, and this is a standard thing.
โอ้วูคองวูคองมาจริงนะ เมตาเนี้ย การแข่งเนี้ยวูคองมาจริง เป็นวูคองซิกครับ
Go for the Ziggs at the end of that in the first pick.
พี่ว่าไม่เล่นยูมิ
Pick up something.
พี่ว่าปล่อยยูมิทิ้งแล้วแบนกันมากกว่า
Otherwise, this Lucian has been flexible so far, but likely, like you mentioned, in the mid lane.
And I feel this is also a bit of a denying pick for Team Flash because Ali actually loves to play the Ziggs. He played Ziggs a lot during the regional tournaments in Southeast Asia. So I feel T1 is not just picking it for themselves, they're also kind of denying it. And I know that Ali also loves to pick the Ashe, but Lux Ashe is not going to work that well into this composition. And we see a Renekton. This is a pick that Shy is going to excel on.
The Renekton comes from Shy, especially
เอาเลเน็ก
likely
เอาเลเน็กมาเจอวูคอง
Team Flash want to give themselves something stable in their top
ได้อยู่นะ
Could still see the Varus come through for Team Flash. Something
โอ้พี่ลำคาญบอทใน YouTube มากเลยอ่ะ
like you've mentioned, I think you've said that the Lux has been a new up-and-coming pick. Team Flash have played it for. Might want to go for something similar.
You know what I find interesting, Brandon, is that Team Flash is taking this early game approach. They have the Corki with the packages, they have the Lee Sin, and they have the Renekton. These are all very strong early game champions. So I'm seeing Team Flash pull off a very aggressive early game, go for every objective, push turrets, ganks, and stuff like that. So they ban out the Jax to not give kind of a
แบนแจ็คแบนเทสแบนนามิลูเซียนว่ะไอ้เหี้ยยอมปล่อยยูมิด้วย เพราะว่าพี่ว่ายูมิอ่ะถ้ามันอันติอ่ะแล้วไม่ตายอ่ะสิ่งที่เกิดขึ้นคือมันโดนสวนเว้ยตัวมันเก่งต้นเลนจริงๆ ตัวมันเก่งอันติจริงแต่ว่ามันถูกบังคับให้อันติแล้วโดนไม่ครบบ่อยแบนราคารครับนะฮะถ้าเทียบแล้วอ่ะลูเซียนนามิอ่ะมันค่อนข้างที่จะสตรองในเลนมากกว่าเพราะว่ามันซัดเทนได้แต่พัสซีฟมันได้ด้วยรักว่ะรักดากอนเลนครับนะฮะแล้วคอกิยืนกลางอ้าวเอาการเลนมาเจอแทนเหรอหรือการเลนกลางไม่การเลนกลางสิเพราะว่ามีลูเซียนลิงป่าปะลูลูอ่ะลิงป่าอ๋อเฮียเจจองมันเก่งการเลนลืมไปเลยลูลูน่ารักมากลูน่ารักมากเชียน่ารักมากๆที่วันนี้ SKT ป่ะครับใช่ครับนะฮะกากัดครับโอ้โห3 โป๊ก1 แอด 1 บุยเซอร์ทีมแฟดดุมากแล้วหลายคนลืมไปนะว่าคอกิอ่ะมันมีเกตติ้งกันนะฮะปืนกลน่ะมันทำให้เจาะเกาะได้นะครับตัวอย่างการเลนอย่างเงี้ยไม่ชอบ
like to play towards the dragon side with their marksman. How do you feel about this Lucian Lulu carry?
Yeah, and I love this pick into the Lux because like if Lux catches out BDG on the Lucian, you have the Lulu to back him up, right? Like you have the Lulu to give him the shields, to save him, and he should technically be able to survive it.
ทีมแฟดนับตัวดุมากซีหนาทำลายโพซิชั่นดี
He can frontline those Lux bindings. He can tank all of that. So it's going to be up to T1 to play this game well, to tank up the Lux engage and to win the game. I like the draft that T1 gave right now.
But we also see a lot of pickup potential and early game potential from Team Flash, right? You said the Renekton, the Corki, the Lee Sin.
Definitely. The early game is going to be massive from Team Flash. So as long as Team Flash doesn't get like a 5k gold lead,
คราวนี้พี่อยากรู้ว่าลูเซียนเขาใช้รูนอะไรเข้าไปในเกมมันบอกนี่รูนใหญ่นะมันบอก
wants to see you guys get a 5,000 gold lead before first dragon, so one for every minute of the game, right?
Yeah.
Go.
One extra 1,000 gold lead for every minute of the game.
ลูเซียนเอารูนเนี่ยเห็นไหมเขาก็ใช้คาเคนสเลเยอร์ทำไมเมื่อวานโนเอลใช้คอนโคลเลอร์วะพี่ไม่เข้าใจวะ
Jong playing that Garen and Shy playing the Renekton, and Renekton is the one champion that can absolutely destroy a Garen.
พี่มองยังไงคาเคนสเลเยอร์มันก็คุ้มในแพทเนี้ยสำหรับลูเซียนนะคือคอนโคลเลอร์มันคุ้มไม่เท่าอ่ะมันยิงเป็นทูดาเมจเพราะปัญหาเมื่อวานก็คือยิงแทงไม่เข้าถูกต้องไหมปกติอ่ะเขาไม่ค่อยเอาลูลูมาแข่งกันนะเว้ยเพราะลูลูมันแก้ง่ายต้องดูครับว่าทีวันอ่ะเอาลูลูมาที่อันนี้น่าสนใจเพราะลูลูเพิ่งโดนเนิร์ฟด้วย
Every single time using that grasp of the Undying, making sure he destroys Shy on that Renekton.
We see the barrier as well, so it gives him a little bit more safety going into the matchup. Shy with the Ignite, trying to look for the kill.
And I love to see that because, you know, when you're playing Garen into Renekton, you'll want to have a barrier because Renekton has so much early game damage, and that barrier could be...
เฮียทำมิ่งเป๊ะมาก
Absolutely. Between the Lee Sin gangs, between the Renekton, there's so much damage coming at you at all times. Barrier could really be that difference.
วันนี้บุรีรัมย์ไม่มีแข่งครับวันนี้พี่มาดูแค่คู่นี้แหละพี่สนใจแค่คู่นี้เพราะว่ามันคือทีวันกับทีมแฟดพี่อยากรู้ว่าทีมแฟดแม่งดุขนาดไหนถ้าเจอเกาหลีใต้
But it's okay, I would say, as long as they don't die.
Sure, vision picked up here for JY while he goes over to the blue buff, but like you said, nothing gained. Team Flash will be able to move back over and pick up the blue buff now.
Yeah, and I think this is good. This is fine for T1, right? Like, even though they're probably going to be behind a little bit of gold because JY did waste a little bit of time as opposed to the rotation of Zissou, but it's okay. As long as you don't lose early game, you should be fine into this composition. T1 has the late game composition, and here you can see the experience. It's fine. Like, no one is super ahead, no one is super behind. T1 is doing a very solid job right now.
Maintaining a close game state benefits T1 quite a bit here.
Yeah, definitely. With that composition that they have, like, I actually think Team Flash has like no chance to win the late game. I would even go as far as saying that. So it's crazy to me how Zissou hasn't ganked a single lane yet. I think he should not have approached the game like this because, like, you're playing Lee Sin. This is one of the strongest early game junglers in the game.
Very bold claim there, Hells. See?
Yeah, I know.
Team Flash wanna look to prove that wrong. Zissou, I think, well, he's cleared his entire jungle at this point. Needs to find something else to do in the map.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it seems like, you know, Core as well on that Ziggs, just playing his lane safely. Actually, Coyote had conditioning as well, so it seems like Team Flash has some laning game runes as well. And while I'm talking, Shy and Jong are just punching each other in the Baron lane.
They will do whatever they want to do. So let's talk a little bit about what happens here. But starting off in the group stage, T1 has come in through Plains. WCK lost Kwangdong Freaks on the way here. Whereas now we get to see the #1 seed Alpha and WCS. We've touted them as a team that is looking to compete against the WRL. And we want to see them perform exceptionally well on their debut stage, on their debut game.
ยิงไม่ถึงว่ะ
Moving into game #1 here, trying to find something on the core, but Barrier will...
คือคู่บนน่ะบอกไม่ได้นะว่าตัวไหนชนะตัวไหนนะอยู่ที่สกิลเพลเยอร์เลยคู่เนี้ยสูสีการเลนกับเลนเน็กอะ
And to me, it seems like T1 is definitely calm and collective, especially Jong. He's ahead in his lane against a Renekton. He hasn't died, and he's actually even though he doesn't have a kill, he is winning. You can clearly see he's always on the upper hand. So it's really nice to see that T1 is definitely stepping up the game against a team like Team Flash.
Absolutely, being able to hold his own. In fact, finding a small lead for himself as well. Team Flash trying to wait out until first objective spawns, it looks like. T1 definitely not unhappy about this set of circumstances.
So I'm expecting T1 to relax during the first objective, and actually no relaxing right here because we saw Graga's ultimate come through, but nothing happened.
ผมไม่งกอันติกันเลยว่ะ
Team Flash has a hole breaker on Coyote. This is an advantage that they're gonna have because T1 does not have the hole breaker. So
น่าจะบวกออบเจกต์เลยครับไม่ใช่แป๊บเดียวเอง5 ทีละ
For sure. Not having the hull breaker makes it a little bit more difficult, but of course...
พี่เชียร์ทีมแฟต
Ziggs, Shy looking for a trade up the top side against Jong.
อย่างน้อยก็โซนเรา
The barrier used as well. I don't think Shy has a combo to finish off the Garen here though.
But those are some important ultimates burnt right before the Dragon and the Rift Herald. That's the Renekton ultimate, that's the Gragas ultimate. They will still have a core key package, but it's not really good for Team Flash to be burning out those important ultimates because T1 could potentially even take a fight against them, as Coyote has the Hull Breaker, which is not strong during team
เอาว่ะ
No, absolutely, right? You have the
Hull Breaker ว่ะ
You have the Lucian who has managed to go back and pick up his Storm Raze at this point. You know, quite a substantial power spike here for T1.
วูเบเกอร์กับ
For them, it looks like they're a little bit late to this, so Team Flash will be
โอ้โห
able to
ทีม
solve
แฟ
the
ต
Dragon
ทีมแฟต
first.
ทัมมิ่งไวมาก
Yeah, T1 is obviously going to trade this one, right? They don't want to be fighting up against that early game composition of Team Flash, and this is good.
Team Flash is going to move over now, though. T1 need to finish off the Rift Herald quickly.
They got to be fast. I'm not sure if they can make it. It's at 3k health right now, and Team Flash may look for a fight right here.
They're getting pretty close. Moving
ไอ้
on to
เหี้
the
ย
Rift Herald right now. Spike
เกือบ
Bot
ได้อะน่ะ
Shine just seconds too late.
คือถ้ามาไวกว่านี้ต่อให้ไม่ได้ลิฟต์อะก็อาจจะได้คนนะ
And yet again, I would say this is fine for T1.
ทัมมิ่งทีมแฟตดีครับ
Zissou looking for some aggression right here. He may try to go for a gank, but they're not getting anything. This is an 0-0 game. Objectives are traded, no gold leads. Like, this is not how Team Flash wants this game to go, because very soon T1 is going to be getting a turret as well with that Rift Herald, which is actually going to get them a lead.
T1 want to be able to find that first turret, especially when you have the Ziggs, so very easy to make that happen.
Oh, Zissou wants to go for it again. He's waiting right there.
By
He's
the rapid
waiting.
camps. He has the angle, looking for the catch on the core, but Core still with his flash.
Still no kills for Team Flash.
1-2 ไอ้เหี้ย
And Zissou's
1-2 คุยเบเกอร์พลังคุยเบเกอร์
Alongside instead now. Sonic Wave will not connect.
This is just a tragic game for Zissou, to be honest, Granda. Like, he constantly tries to look for a gank because he knows if he doesn't get a single gank in, they just won't win the game, and he's gonna go for it again.
Well, T1 have
He
overstayed
misses
their welcome
again.
a little bit. He landed on
ไอ้เหี้ยมันงัดออกมาจนได้ว่ะแม่งเอาจะเอาให้ได้ว่ะ
Cross Penguin still alive. Not even able to finish off a kill. Team Flash do get to push them off the turret though.
Very, very well played by T1 right there, and even defending that turret as well. This is just this is such good gameplay by T1. They know they're up
ป้อมจะ
against
แตกแล้วครับ
Zissou and Lee Sin. They know he's going to be looking for those ganks, but they're not dying to it. This is so unbelievably well played by T1, and they didn't lose anything right there.
Yeah, neither side yet lose anything. They might be able to find something on Coyote though. Coyote has to use his flash now. Ultimate comes in, barrier from Coyote, dodges away for the bouncing bomb, but Not bad, but a satchel charge getting a little bit risky.
นี่คือพลังของฮุยเบเกอร์
So T1 are gonna have to back
เฮียโดนลุม2ก็ยังไหว
Still sitting in 0-0 in this game right now. Both teams are trying to play it so cleanly. They haven't got
ตึงมาก
no gold leads, nothing.
จังหวะทามมิ่งเดินตึงทุกจังหวะเลย
1v1 BDG and Penguin right there.
Yeah.
1v2. So
Yeah, in a 1v2 situation, it's going to be difficult. MT's going to make his way up top side. They just have to move in. Laser comes across.
เฮียแฟดดูสัตว์
First blood over to Team Flash. Then move on to BDG and Z.
เฮีย
Clean up the second kill.
and there is the Lux. Ali with a beautiful ultimate, perfectly following up after Shai stunned BDG and Penguin right there. This is what you want to see from a Lux. Although on the other side of the map, T1 did pick up a turret, so they're still not behind in gold.
Absolutely, but Team Flash are looking at a turret of their own very soon. Between the top side and the mid side being shoved in. The bot side low as well.
รู้ว่าแม่งพลาดที่แม่งเอาลิงมา แตก
Quite risky, Team Flash. With an opportunity.
เชี่ย
Ali just caught invisible Wukong right there. Did you see that? He just avoided the clone and he caught an
กูอยากดู
invisible
ทีมแฟดเจอจีน
that a team like Team Flash has. And that's the kind of player you want to see on a Lux, right? He'll catch you no matter what.
That light binding.
พี่ว่าเกาหลีเอาทีมแฟดไม่อยู่
That hurts in my soul. I've played against a lot of Lux players. I've played against a lot of good Lux players, and
Yeah.
I can tell what JY was feeling about that. You know, he thought he was safe in this clone, but no, he was not safe against Ally on that Lux.
That's rough. That's rough. Team Flash. 3-0 now. I don't know. Hells, you were saying that they needed 5,000 gold before
They
Dragon.
didn't get it. They didn't get it. I think T1 is doing a very good job. They still have the Rift Herald, you know, and they got a turret as well. They're doing fine. Like, sure, they're behind, but Team Flash.
ดูแม่งไล่
Package use here in the mid lane. The Rift Herald was used as
แม่งไล่ซิกแบบโป๊กไม่ได้เลยอ่ะ หันมาโป๊กไม่ได้เลยอ่ะ
JY just pulls the attention over as 5 members start to congregate.
โคโยเต้ว่ะ
T1.
เชี่ยเขาของจริงว่ะโคโยเต้เนี่ย
They're unfortunately not getting the mid tower, but Jong goes in.
Looking for the entry angle. Jong won't be able to get out. Ooh, that's the hourglass. Gone from BDG, but he still has his flash. Very nicely timed it to dodge away from the spells.
Yeah, and that's the one way T1 can survive the full engage of Lux. Just use your stasis enchant, right? Like, use the
เชี่ย
stasis
แม่งแบบทำมิ่งแม่งเป๊ะมากน้อง
by BDG right
เนี่ย
now.
แม่งกลับไปลิฟต์แล้ว
With the stasis
เปิดลิฟต์แล้วเนี่ย ระหว่างที่เขากลับไปรีเซ็ตเลือดอ่ะ
Second Rift
มันได้เปิดลิฟต์แล้วเนี่ย
Team Flash. Dragon still not up. And so
น้องเห็นตอน1 นาที
priority over this.
25 ป่ะ คือแม่งกระโดดลงมาแล้วแบบลิฟต์สกัดเลือดเกิดพอดีอ่ะเชี่ยทำมิ่งแม่งเป๊ะเกิน
They should not wait. They just got the Rift Herald. They're gonna fight for the Dragon as well, Brandon.
Dragon's gonna come up in half a minute.
Yeah.
T1, they kind of split up right now.
Oh,
They're
you
going
got
for-
it.
Yeah, Zizou gets the blue buff away as well. A mid lane tower gonna go down, and so you start to see here the macro
เนี่ยแม่ง
game
กลัวที่ไหนล่ะไอ้เหี้ยแม่งเวทบูบัฟเขาเข้าไปเตะ
Exactly. Oh, he got.
No, it's still pretty close. BDG has the exhaust, and that's the only reason Zizou
เอ
wanted to
อ
go first.
ไอ
He
สัต
couldn't
ว์
find
ซ่า
the
นัก
with one by the mid lane. Reptile still coming in. Team Flash get to continue shoving.
Team Flash doing such a great job right now. This is what they need to do. Extend their lead. Keep pushing. Although that I'm saying that T1 is only behind 2k gold right now. It's not that much.
คือทีวันเดินเกมตามอย่างเห็นได้ชัดครับ แล้วพี่ยังไม่เห็นเลยว่า พี่ยังจินตนาการไม่ออกเลยว่าทีวันแม่งจะเอาดาเมจครบได้ยังไงอ่ะคือตัวมันแบบ
Jong over by the side.
ตัวมันพึ่งซิกมากอ่ะ
Yeah, Team Flash is still gonna fight for this dragon. Like they still have the better.
มันแทบไม่มีดาเมจเลยนะ
Hungry for some blood.
อ่ะมีซิกกับลูเซียนอย่างเงี้ยลูเซียนแม่งใครแม่งก็ยิงใกล้
He jumps onto Ellie. Ellie has flash over the wall. Meanwhile, still, now we get to see Shai moving in.
มาแล้วครับมาแล้วครับ พี่ชายเรา
Tanky, but not that tanky. Zizou comes in to finish off the job, looking for his first kill.
โบ๊ะหนึ่ง
He gets it with the help of the rest of his team.
Oh, and Team Flash barely winning the team fight. That was a bit close.
ไอ้เหี้ยโดนโดมินัส
for Team Flash.
ชายแม่งเลเน็กเข้ามาก็คือ
But Team Flash still
ก็คือซิกกับลูเซียนไม่ได้ทำดาเมจแล้วว่าต้องเดินหนีแล้วอ่ะ
their lead. T1 is trying to hold off, and they're doing an okay job with it. But Team Flash now finally playing the way that they're supposed to.
Yeah, Team Flash being able to pick up these kills.
ว่าได้ดูแป๊บเดียวว่ะ
Working on the macro game. Looking good for Team Flash.
Oh yeah, definitely. They got 2 dragons already. They got a Rift Heralds, and they got a Gold League now. The only thing is just make sure T1 does not reach that late game. BDG on that Lucian combined with Penguin on that
ไม่
Lulu.
พี่
That is one of the scariest.
พี่ว่าลิงอ่ะเขาเฟกเว้ยคือตอนแรกอ่ะเขาจะเอาลิงไปบนแหละ
But when you combine a
Uh.
Lucian, that's where it gets super scary.
Absolutely. You know, you don't want to have to deal with the RN sensor.
แล้วพอเขาเห็นเลเน็กเขาเลยแบบเอาลิงไปป่าแทนอะไรอย่างเงี้ย
Online now for T1. Package will be
ลิงมันไม่ใช่ตัวเลือกแรกๆของการป่าเว้ยแล้วแม่งก็แบนออลาฟแบนคาซิก
impactful.
แต่ไม่แบนคาซิกไม่ได้นะ สีสูคาซิกโหดสัตว์เลยนะ
Flashing in, Shai gets the stun down, but Team Flash not able to follow up.
I like that aggression because if it was a 1v1, what would have happened is Shy would have stunned Core on that Ziggs, and then Ellie would have followed up with the Lux ultimate. Right? We've seen it happen earlier, and Jong is trying to fight Shy right here.
ไม่ไหวไม่ไหว
Where he can deal with the Garen.
Yeah.
Start to see now Black Cleaver and Blade the Rune King.
So Team Flash is constantly trying to catch someone out, and then follow up with
แบ็คเคปรูนคิงครับ แค่นี้ก็เพียงพอแล้ว
you can do when you have a Lux in your team. So I just feels like Team Flash has to get into it a bit more, and I see them catching out a lot more.
โอ้ให้บูบับโคโยเต้
Trying to work on that top side turret. Team Flash deciding to move over the top end. They have a lot of pick potential, like you've said, Hells. I think they know that, which is why they're trying to pull them towards the top side.
โอ้แตกกูบอกเลยแตกไอ้เหี้ยแตกทั้งคนแตกทั้งป้อม
There it is, Team Flash pushing their lead, taking turrets. You know, Baron is spawning. This is exactly what Team Flash has to do.
มึงทีวันนะไอ้สัตว์ไม่ใช่ทีมจาก EU นะ
Exactly. They could just start the Baron, force
น้องดูดิ13 นาทีบาลอนเกิดแม่งเอาบาลอนเป๊ะเลย
So Team Flash have to renew their efforts on the Baron, trying to zone T1 away. T1, they are not convinced. Say, we
ไม่ให้เข้าฮะ
actually doing this Baron, this is a bait. But despite knowing that, they must walk in. John goes in first. You see over the backline, Penguin trying to pull some attention this way.
โอ้ยเตะข้างหลัง
Go in. JY comes through massive as they take down Zissou finally. Light Binding does not connect. Team Flash lose one in that exchange.
T1 actually able to win that fight, and the reason is because Baron reduced
คือโอเค มันอาจจะเอาบาลอนไม่ได้แต่มันบีบไม่มันบังคับให้ทีมที่เงินน้อยกว่ามาสู้ตลอด
Team Flash overestimating the power of their composition right now, as they actually lost the fight against that because BDG on that Lucian just did a tad bit too much damage for their man.
มันโดนเกลลิงกันไง
And even beyond that, compounding on that even more, the last whisper here from BDG, so
Yeah.
really does not want to see you have any armor at all.
Team Flash actually sitting on 2 hull breakers right now, by the way. We see Shy on the Renekton picking up a hull breaker, and then Coyote who has the hull breaker as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how Team Flash plays around those hull breakers, because we know they have to play a lot around objectives to extend their lead. But it seems like when they get to the late game, Team Flash understands they don't want a team fight, so they actually choose to get 2 hull breakers just to split push.
I mean, you get a split push, I get a split push. T1, they don't get to decide what they want to do. They're just going to be pulled apart. And it's difficult, you know, 2 massive forces on both sides of the map.
Oh yeah, and meanwhile BDG picked up his 3rd item on that Lucian, by the way. He's going for a hyper carry Lucian build. That's a Storm Racer, that's a Solari Charge Blade, that's a Cerulda's Grudge. These are hyper carry items.
เลเน็กออกฮอมคุยเบเกอร์แล้วครับเลเน็กช่วยดันแล้วฮะ
Running away, we start to see the power of the Cerulda's Grudge as BDG.
ทีวันเอาหน่อยไอ้เหี้ย
Coming through, BDG gets knocked away by the Dragon's Rage, but Zissou
ให้มันมีสีสันหน่อยสัตว์
trying to find a trade back onto core. Shy dashes in, jumps onto the Ziggs. The
เชี่ย
Ziggs still has the minefield, trying to slow the Renekton, but Team
เชี่ย
Flash
น้องมันดันล่างอยู่
Oh, and you can see it, Coyote on the opposite side, pushing it in.
แตกนะมึงไปเล่นกับเลเน็กอ่ะบ้านแตกนะ แตกนะเว้ยแม่งคุยเบเกอร์2 คน
barrier actually does not here. Still has light binding. Won't be able to find the final spell to kill off the Wukong. Coyote in the bot side.
Get the turret, Coyote.
ไอ้เหี้ยการเล่นแตกนะ มันไม่สนหรอกมันยิงบ้านแล้ว
The macro game here for Team Flash.
There you
ไอ้
go.
เหี้ยมันยิงไม่เข้า
Team Flash
โอ้
knows they don't want to fight. They just get turrets. They get the double.
ไอ้เหี้ยมันมาโคเกิน
And now Team Flash has a massive advantage because they got that bot lane inhibited tower. How is T1 gonna get to that Baron without having someone in the bot lane right now?
They're going to have to constantly be aware of that. So either pick up the teleport or
Oh yeah.
go for something else. I mean, it's going to be difficult for sure.
Team Flash is just playing so incredibly well. Even though they screwed up a few times during team fights, this is what's supposed to happen with that composition. They cannot win a late game team fight against BDG. And as you look into this replay, you can see it, right? Even Jong, who is the tankiest
ไอ้เหี้ยโยกดีแบบโยกดีจัดๆน่ะแล้วน้องดูพอเกิดมาปุ๊บแม่ง
he goes in, he tanks up
ออบเจกต์ใหญ่เกิด
Team Flash has no chance. Right here you can see it.
ไม่เสียทัมมิ่งเลย
Reason that he's fearless is because he has Penguin on that
เนี่ยอย่างที่พี่บอกว่ามันโดนบูเซอร์เว้ยมันโดนทะลวงซิกมันไม่ได้เล่นซิกมันไม่ได้โป๊กแล้วมันมีดาเมจแค่ลูเซียนกับซิก2 ตัว
BDG gets kicked into Team Flash, but the rest of his team here try to protect them. Not back once again. Zissou over by the side. It's Coyote that
การเล่นมึงแข็งเหรอไอ้สัตว์การเล่นมึงแข็งเหรอ
down, and Team Flash have taken away 3 on the side of T1.
Oh no, this was the moment for T1 and it's now all falling apart as the outer
เชี่ย สัตว์ประหลาดไอ้สัตว์
Oh no, what happened? One team fight and the game is just over right now.
Teleport through from Team Flash in a methodical fashion. They get it.
มึงเกินไป
No pentakill for you today, Coyote. but it will be game number 1 going over to Team Flash.
What happened, Grandin? That was a game that T1 could have won, but they screwed up one team fight.
ชิบังตบทีวันเป็นลูกเลย
Incredibly well by taking that bot lane inhibitor, by taking 2 mid lane turrets already. One mistake was the game for them.
I mean, playing into the palms of
Yeah.
Team Flash, honestly. Team Flash, while it may have seemed like a slow game, I'm very confident that that was something they were looking for as well, right? Zissou was not overly proactive. We saw how T1 was able to shut down teams that were, and so I think Team Flash have been able to identify some of those issues.
สมัยสีฟ้ากับแดงต่างกันยังไงฟ้าสโลว์ครับแดงได้ดาเมจแดงมีดาเมจเพิ่มคือถ้าอยากลงหัวให้ตายดาเมจให้แรงไปแดง
That's exactly what they did.
เ
Zissou was just waiting
แต่ฟ้าสโลว์
and all he did was kick BDG in the middle of his team, and that's why he died. Right, Lulu ultimate, Lulu shield, it doesn't matter. If you're in a 1 versus 4 situation, you're still gonna die. And after BDG died,
Yeah.
T1.
Team Fight is best team
T1 intend to kind of
I think so.
game number 2 with, because we already got to see them manage to find an even early game against Team Flash, and so if they can get that much done, then
Consistency.
they could definitely do something against Team Flash in game number 2. Well, a strong start here for Team Flash. We're going to toss it over to Degon to see what they have to say as game number 1 is going the way of WCS.
Thank you very much, Grandin and Hells. Grandin, nice shirt, man. That's a nice start as well to the day, as it is a win here for Team
ไม่
Flash.
ทีมแฟดเนี่ยในบ้านตัวเองก็ไม่มีใครสู้แม่งได้นะมาแข่งเซาท์อีสต์เอเชียก็ไม่มีใครสู้แม่งได้แม่งบอกอยากเจอไอคอนละไอ้เนี่ยในเซาท์อีสต์เอเชียกูเบื่อว่ะเชี่ยมาไอคอนแม่งตบเกาหลีอีกนะ
Yeah, I mean, it was just a slow grind to victory for Team Flash, and it was what they're so good at, which is taking map control and pressuring all sides of it. We said on the Disco, I was talking to Rico, and I said it's kind of like they're just poking T1 with a stick to see what they'll do, because at every moment they were taking these strong side dives wherever they wanted to on the map, pretty unpunished. And the reason it was unpunished
แล้วมาโคดีจัดๆน่ะ
players pushing on one side of the map, there's 2 players pushing on the opposite side as well. Their weak side is gaining ground as well as their strong side, which should not be allowed versus a team like T1. It felt like T1 were playing on the back foot, weren't expecting this kind of aggression, and weren't moving to make proactive plays of their own during that time.
And because of what they were doing, right, they were taking a lot of things off of the map. You mentioned, TJ, they're poking them out. They're poking all of their turrets, basically, getting turret plates. And the fact that they're one of the best teams that are utilizing the double
สวัสดีครับ
hull
สวัสดี
breaker,
ครับ
that's the reason why they're getting all the resources.
สวัสดี
And
เอา
guess
เฟด
what?
ด้วย
They needed resources. BDG on the Lucian when they picked that up. And because Team Flash
แม่งสับประหลาดเซาท์อีสต์เอเชียมากเลยอะ
every single turret got enough space for them to work with, BDG just couldn't get anything out of the map.
Right, and that was the frustrating part. I feel like if you're BDG, where it's I want to farm, I want to get something going, but they never really had great vision support. Here at this point, he thought, okay, maybe a good fight. We're gonna chase. We got one.
เนี่ยจังหวะเนี้ยเหมือนเสียเปรียบนะแต่ดึงให้เพื่อนอยู่เพราะว่าโคโยเต้อะโคโยเต้ยิงป้อมล่างฟรีอยู่เนี่ยเราไม่ให้กลับแล้วชายอ่ะแม่งโฟกัสซิกมากเลยคือมันมีตัวดาเมจแค่2ตัวที่ทำได้ก็คือลูเซียนกับซิกลูเซียนน่ะมันต้องยิงใกล้อยู่แล้วซิกมันโป๊กไกลได้แม่งแล้ว2ตัวเนี้ยไม่โดนคอกิก็โดนเลเน็กไล่ตลอดแม่งกลัวที่ไหนอะคัตลิงใส่แม่งกระโดดเตะกลับเลยอะแม่งดากอนเลดเตะกลับให้เพื่อนเลยอะมึงคัตลิงแสดงว่ามึงเดินช้า
Additionally, right, he's also carrying the Hull Breaker and the fact that, again, he's basically
เนิร์ฟเถอะ
drawing
เนิร์ฟเถอะฮอลเบเกอร์ไม่ไหวว่ะ
and therefore that's what we saw. Coyote
แม่งเกินไป
dealing a lot of turret damage, a lot of wave clearing, and the base is gone, basically.
Yeah. When you see a chart like this, it's not exponentially growing, it is consistently growing.
Yeah.
And you love that because that generally comes from a fact that a team knows they're better, they put themselves in a winning position, and then just hold that position until they win the game. A lot of the time you get to a point where someone has to flip a game, and that's where you see a very sharp downturn. Here it was just a steady, like, choke out and win.
Yeah, T1 were always in control of this game, and it didn't come from team fights, or sorry, Team Flash were always in control of this game.
Yeah.
And it didn't come from team fights, it didn't come from like really flashy play, it came from, okay, we know we can always get the better side of each trade, or when a trade starts looking bad, when it, this could go wrong for us, they are one of the quickest teams in the world at pulling the plug. At going, oh,
ไม่ยังไงลูเซียนน่ะถ้ามันไม่คัตลิงอ่ะมันต้องเข้าไปยิงใกล้ๆอยู่แล้วลูกเพราะงั้นน่ะมันถูกโฟกัสง่ายแต่ซิกอ่ะมันเป็นดาเมจเดียวที่ AOE
Tower push into a collapse. Or
แล้วซิกเกมเนี้ยแทบไม่ได้เล่นเลย
then they move to another tower into the side lanes. I think it's great, and it's all again. I want to say Coyote was amazing in this game, getting another quadra kill and Valkyrieing forward without zero punish. He is excellent.
Right, and I think the most impressive thing here by by Team Flash, is that it was not a mech check. We said earlier in the broadcast and in our prep that Team Flash, you have to have good.
อันนี้สีผมหลุด วันแรกมาสีเทาสระผมเหี้ยสีผมหลุด
Are you able to play the macro as good as us? And the answer there by T1 was hold on. But when it was time to answer the question, it was no, and they were too far behind, not enough resources there.
And I think it's a combination, right? Because
ทีมไทยลงไป lower bracket ครับ ไปเจอกับ แฟตวูฟ
Renection was so scary, nobody wanted to fight him even 2v1, right? And that's where so much of the team.
เอ้าจริงสีผมหลุด พี่เป็นคนทำสีผมมาก่อน พี่ดูรู้เลยทำม่วงเทามาม่วงหลุดแล้วเป็นเทาพอเทาเข้มอ่ะมันสวย แม่งสระผม2 วันผ่านไปผมสีผมหลุด
Watch to see if the opposite laner hides in the bush, and because what they're trying to do is time the recall against each other, and if someone recalls first, they're going to push the wave in, get the gold lead, then back, and those were the small things to do. Remember, the first kill on the top side of the map with the Renekton was he was hiding in the bush. He was hiding in the bush on the top side, did not recall, surprised T1, they get that first kill, and then the Renekton gets going and snowballing a little scary.
Yeah, I think that's also potential, right? The fact that, again, we could possibly see early roams from Coyote either towards top side, just as we saw, and as well as bottom side. I feel like there's still that big threat. After game number 1, Coyote is definitely feeling it after getting another quadra kill, by the way, on their first game here at Icons.
Riku,
Yeah.
what did they get a quadra kill?
They got a quadra kill!
Oh wow,
They got
dude!
a quadra kill!
That's crazy!
It was a quadra kill.
Coyote got a quadra
He got
kill.
a quadra
I'm so excited, okay?
Well, it's one of those things. For those of you at home that you don't know, when you're on the desk and you're predicting things and you
ออร่ามันจับมากเลยว่ะ
that Coyote had last time he was on stage. Whoa, it's a quadra kill. Feels really good when it comes to fruition. So great job, Riku.
ยาโอะกับยี่ยาโอะมีโผล่มาแมตช์นึงครับนะฮะแล้วก็แพ้ไปยี่ไม่มีฮะยี่เล่นไม่ได้อยู่แล้วครับในแข่ง
We've talked a lot about Team Flash for T1 here, TJ. What do you want to see different for them to find some success?
I think they need tools to succeed during the early game, and I don't even know if that's a draft thing. Like, obviously I want to see those tools on the board, but T1 throughout the entire game, like, even they drafted, remember the Lucian Nami game, which is like the most early game comp, and they didn't activate that comp until the 10-minute mark.
Right.
รอดูดาร์ฟเนี่ยพี่รอดูดาร์ฟเหมือนกัน
Go full late game, do something that's going to work if you try and stall out for 15 minutes, and I guess hope that that is cleaned up, or give me the early game tools again and actually spend on them and actually get some invades going.
Riku?
For me, it has to be Zhong. Don't make him play on something that basically says they're throwing in the towel. They're not going to fight 1v1. They're not going to fight top jungle up against Shy and Zisu. Because picking up a Garen, especially Zhong, had an amazing performance in play-in. So I feel like the Jace is going to suit him. Something that gives him agency. Something that gives him damage to fight with that top jungle duo.
Yeah, and think about it for if you're a T1 fan, you know that Team Flash selected Lee Sin for Zizu.
บางคนก็บอกว่าเป็นถุงร้อน บางคนก็บอกว่าเป็นถุงเอาไว้วอร์มมือเพื่อให้มือไม่บาดเจ็บมันมีหลายถุงเราไม่รู้ว่าทีมแฟลชเขาใช้ถุงอะไร
Lee Sin dives, you've got Lux pushing for light bindings, and you do all of that, and you don't lose anything during that time.
Which Team Flash didn't.
Yeah.
There is something remarkable happening, and I think it's a combination of both. Yes, Team Flash were doing a great job having pressure on the opposite side of the map, making sure that they understood where the resources were, what T1 could do to counter punch, but also T1 weren't counter punching. So maybe the Garen is the solution to that.
Yep.
Maybe it's because you're just sitting on Garen duty and you don't feel like you can play
สวิต
aggressive.
ฝั่งว่ะ
I actually would look for something out of JY in the jungle as well. I want to see him on something like Lee Sin that can step up during the early game. Just give me something T1 that can respond to that pressure.
All right, well here we go. Game number 2.
ไม่ให้คามิลจริงๆว่ะ
T1. Will they push it to game 3 or will they fall to the number 1 seed from the WCS? Let's find out together. Is Camille and Senna the first ban?
เซนน่าเป็นตัวที่ถูกแบนแล้วก็ถูกเลือกเยอะมากๆนะฮะ
And now I feel like Team Flash, this is the time for them to pick Lucian themselves. Again, we talked
ไม่เฟิร์ส
about
พิก
how
ซิกครับ
Coyote
เลยแบน
had
ซิก
an
ทิ้งครับ
improvement
นะฮะเจต้องแบนอยู่แล้วครับ เพราะว่าถ้าไม่แบนยังไงทีมแฟตก็เฟิร์สพิกเจฮะ
Do you think he can get pentakill
รอบนี้ทีวันเหมือนจะไม่โฟกัสสีสู ไม่จี้แบนป่า เพราะรู้แล้วว่าไอ้เหี้ยแบนป่าไปไม่ได้เหี้ยอะไร
Will get a pentakill. If not, Riku's prediction powers.
ทีวันจากเกาหลีใต้ครับนะฮะ
You'll be able to predict, and I'm sure you'll predict with great.
เฟิร์สพิกแต่แบนลูเซียนว่ะไอ้เหี้ยทีมแฟตแม่งของจริง
I did. I gave it very strong. I was like, wait, I want
มึง
Riku.
จะแบนคอกิปะล่ะ
She did get the quadra kill.
มึงจะแบนคอกิปะล่ะ
If she's wrong about this one, she's 50%. That's pretty good.
That's still good. Yes, that's correct. But the Lucian has now gone, right? So the next best thing would be the Corki. Enable the
คอกิไหมน้อง
By the drop, yeah.
อ้าวแบนคาม่า
Taken away by T1. So no karma
คอกิ
there.
ไปสิ
Lee Sin that could possibly go up. Corki as well that we've seen as a.
หรือจะเคาน์เตอร์คอกิโดยการให้คอกิเขายังไงก็คอกิ คอกิมันอเนกประสงค์มากเลยอ่ะคือมันเจาะแท้งมันโป๊กมันเป็นตัวที่แบบว่าดาเมจเป็นไฮบริดครับเป็นดาเมจเป็นกายภาพเป็นฟิสิกอลกับเป็นเมจิกในตัวเป็นเป็น ability point ในตัวability power ในตัวเพราะงั้นทีมไม่จำเป็นต้องมีเมจเมื่อมีคอกิหรือทีมจะมีเมจก็ได้เพราะคอกิแม่งเป็น AD ในตัวยังยุ่งกับลิงอยู่ไอสัตว์ยังยุ่งกับลิงอยู่อู้สวยมากเลยคือเขาทำ AR สวยนะแต่เขาก็ไม่ได้โฟกัสภาพที่ AR นะเขาโฟกัสบรรยากาศรอบๆอ่ะแล้วคือถ้ามี AR เข้าซีนก็คือมีเท่านั้นเองราคาว่ะ
Rakan getting locked in here, and I think one thing T1 felt was we don't have a solid way to engage the fights.
โดนรีซินอีกแล้ว
Think back to the long, drawn-out, chased fight that made them lose 2 towers in the inhib.
พี่ว่าลิงอ่ะบนรอบเนี้ยยังไงก็น่าจะเป็นป่าแท้
It's just such a good combo, and I don't know why. I want a Yasuo in this composition for T1.
เทสว่ะเฮียเทสว่ะ
It would be a commit to the late game, right?
That's true.
And what we've seen so far from the Rakan does give them some early game potential, but all their damage
เชี่ยหล่อสัส
is in the late game. So again,
แล้วไม่ใช่แบบว่ามุมหน้าอย่างเดียวด้วยนะมีมุมแผ่นข้างให้ดูแบบ300ให้ดูแบบเป็นทีดีด้วยนะหรือเป็นป่าว่ะใช่เขาใช้ AR เป็นตัวประกอบไม่ใช่ AR เป็นตัวจุดเด่น
Yeah, exactly. They're still not revealing anything yet. Where's the damage? The last 2 picks are going to be very reliant on that. And I wonder if they're going to ban the Varus, because I think Ellie can still play Varus Thresh on this one.
So when this is played in the Korean League,
เป็นบ้านเรานี่ไม่ได้เฮียช็อต AR มานี่นักกีฬาหายเฮียเอา AR ไว้ก่อน
with Varus, which is why it is Team Flash who ban it out.
Yep.
They typically go Varus and an Enchanter, and the Enchanter, something like a Nami, will
ถ้ามีโมเดลหนูแตกแน่นอน วันนั้นเขามีสเตจูแตกกัน
fight and throw up
ยิ่งกว่าโมเดลอีก วันวีวิทปาร์ตี้อ่ะ
Varus and Ziggs both banned. The AD carry pool for BDG is very narrow right now.
Exactly, and I think that's why TF feel comfortable banning out the Varus.
ไม่เอา
Maybe Ash.
พี่วันบอก
I'm worried about the
ไม่เอา
If that's
ไม่เอาเลเน็ก
I mean, it's still pretty good to get picks, get that snowball to the side.
ไม่เอาเลเน็กไม่เอาซิงค์
Yesterday against Buriram, so it's highly possible to snowball in a side lane Ash. Send arrows from downtown.
Yeah,
Everywhere.
the Ash works well with this composition because you can start fights with the arrows.
มอร์กาน่าว่ะ
And because Ash is pretty good at kiting on themselves.
ก็เข้าใจได้นะลีซินคอกิ
The 2 picks I would feel very comfortable with. 41 here, they are in BDG's wheelhouse.
มอร์กาน่ามันเป็นทั้งล็อกแล้วก็เป็นทั้งออบเจกต์ในตัว
Is that they're running out of options on the wave clear department.
โว้ว
That's twisted.
โว้ว
That's crazy, man.
That is nutty. That is nutty. Okay, still my concern. Where is
ไอ้
the
เฮียหล่อว่ะ
damage? If they do pick up an Ash,
โมเดลมึงหล่อขนาดนี้เลยเหรอวะ
global things going on. And instead they take it
อู้
away.
Wow. There's not a lot here
There's
left
none.
for T1.
I think this is Twist or Team Flash correct.
น้องครับ
that Ash is the missing
สถิติของเอลลี่
so many stars
แอด
on command. You can gold card into
ถ้าจำไม่ผิดนะ
red card into the
แม่งแพ้ครั้งเดียวเองมั้งที่แม่งจับแอดอะ
away. They do that now. T1
เชนว่ะ
very little left.
And I like the fact that Team Flash
มึงลำบากแล้ววูคองไอ้เหี้ยมึงเจอเชนอะ
on the clock right now because everyone kind of saw the Ash pick coming on in and the flexibility of Team Flash. It's going to be an Ori. So what are we flexing down to the
Twisted
bottom side of the
Fate.
map?
Bottom
AD
lane.
carry.
Yeah.
Twisted Fate carry. They're going to put the Rakan down there, and this is going to be.
ยูทูเฟดแครี่ว่ะ
So T1 have kind of built the Korean pick composition, the Korean composition that's so popular.
ได้อยู่ครับช่วงนี้เขาเล่นกันอยู่
It's all about accelerating your front line. So you land the full CC combo. They kind of have that. It's gold card into charm instead of Ash Arrow into gold card, but it'll work.
Yeah, everyone has CC. Everyone can lock people down. And the fact that the Twisted Team Flash has a lot of squishy members, no one to tank there. I'd say Shen. But
กูว่านะ โดนไอ้เหี้ยธนูไม่ปักหัวเข่าหรอกธนูปักหัวหมดอะ
All right, we've got TF playing against a TF iconic.
อ่าวูคองป่าอ่า
To sort things out.
Well, thanks, Degon. I could tell that Riku and TJ were.
อาจจะมองว่าลูวิกพี่คิดอย่างนี้ อาจจะมองว่าวูคองเนี่ยอยู่กับเชนไปก็ไม่ได้เฮี้ยอะไร แต่ว่าลิเว่นน่ะมันเคาะเชนเข้าลิเว่นเป็นตัวที่ไม่มีเหตุผลในเรื่องของการสู้กับแท้งมันแคนเซิลแอนิเมชันได้
It's like the same thing as having lugs, right? You just catch an enemy, and Team Flash is the one team that can pull this off so incredibly well as well. So it's gonna be
เกิน20 นาทีไหมพี่ว่าไม่เกิน
It seems like they have everything.
And the question that you were asking, right, was where's the Ash going to go? Is he going to go in the mid lane? Is he going to go in the Dragon lane? Let's kind of weigh it out on both sides, see what they want to try and get done, because he does see Lance going into the mid lane.
It's an Ash mid. Oh, it seems like T1 is trying to look for something.
มันจั่วแล้วมันจั่วแล้ว
This side's going to spot them out. Okay.
โอเคเคลียร์เฉย
Oh, how cool would it be if Core actually took his charm and if BDG would have stunned him and then Penguin on the Rakan knocked him off? How cool would that be if that would have worked? That could have worked. That could have been first blood for T1 right
But
there.
you'd be level 1 Ori with Charm.
Exactly.
That would be a little sad.
Exactly. That's the risk that you're taking. But it seems
ทะ
like
ลึ่งเขายกก่อนนะ
But T1 is a very interesting rotation here where they push both waves.
มาเคลียร์ครับมาเคลียร์ให้หมดแล้วก็กลับเลน
A positive net value at the end, but now they're kind of giving a free lane to Coyote on that Ash.
Yeah, we do see them up a little bit more in gold right now, but Coyote gets free space, and against a matchup that you should be punished in, you don't want to see that happen. It's going to take a little while for Core to really find his footing in this matchup, though.
I find this Ash mid lane very interesting, by the way, because
เนี่ยเห็นไหมลิเว่นมันพอตีเข้าตัวอื่นมันตีเชนไม่เข้า
That sentence doesn't hit, though, and Ellie takes quite a bit of damage on the way out. Ignite on both sides. The exhaust comes through. Actually flashes away. That's flashing in, and a first blood over the
เอาเว้ย
T1 taking
เอาเว้ย
blood against Team Flash. That's what you like to see. T1 stepping up the early game like they have to. But what I was talking about is how good is Coyote's ganking gonna be? Besides his ultimate, like what can Ash really do?
เอาเว้ยเอาเว้ยกูขอ3 เกมวะ
Crazy ganks because he's playing Ahri.
Oh yeah, being able to move in, have a lot of damage, have that pick-up potential. Of course, I suppose the risk is that Coyote gets to keep pushing in the wave. We'll have to see how that one plays out.
ไม่แน่นะครับเพราะว่า
Twisted Fate, 80 first blood in the bot.
อาลีของคอเองก็
Let's talk about
อาลีก็ตัวเฮี้ยอยู่เหมือนกัน
He actually has fleet footwork. Interesting that he wouldn't go for a lethal tempo. It's an AP Twisted Fate actually. It's not an AD Twisted Fate.
But he won't be playing the bomb side still. Gold card.
มึงเปิดแมปให้เพื่อนอย่างนี้เหรอ
Onto the Sonic Wave and follows through with the resonating strike for a kill in the bottom side.
มึงเปิดแมปให้เพื่อนอย่างนี้เหรอคือมึง
Zissou as well.
ไอ้ธนูเฮี้ยเนี่ยกูให้เปิดยิงหวาดอย่างเดียวเลยนะ
He's playing that
กูไม่เคยเปิดให้เพื่อนแก๊งหลังป้อมเลยนะ
So yeah, indeed. It's an AP Twisted Fate in the Dragon Lane. So,
เฮ้ยแค่โคโยเต้ว่ะ
that before, Grandad. Honestly, I've never seen that before. What should I say?
I guess they have damage. They're like
โดนป้อมสิครับโดนป้อมสิครับ
Shy.
very close to following there. Gets his shield in the
Zissou goes again.
เชี่ย
A very sad day for BDG.
Oh my God, Grandin.
เชี่ย
This is the Team Flash that I expected to see in Game 1.
They took a little while to get here.
Right, that was their warm-up game. This is the true Team Flash, right? Like, this is indeed the aggression that you want to have as Team Flash. When you have that Lee Sin, when Zissou's playing, this is what you can do. Double gank on BDG. BDG is sitting on level 3 right now. He just got level 4.
An amazing start here for Team Flash, for Zissou especially.
ไอ้เหี้ยแม่งเลเวล4กันเองตอนเนี้ย
Up that Rod of Ages until he
เชี่ยช็อตเนี้ยแม่งเถื่อนมาก
to the bot side.
Oh yeah, definitely. Here we can see it, right? Coyote making sure there's vision and easy kill. This was a very easy kill. Unfortunately, Penguin trying to save BDG right there ended up dying himself as well. And then Zissou was just kind of waiting in the blue side jungle. And here you can see, this is it. This is the ganking that Team Flash has.
เชี่ย
Goes for it again. So this
โคโยเต้
is deal with right now. And Zissou is trying to look for something else right now.
He's up to the top side. Honey Fruit comes
โอ้
in.
มัน
They use
มึง
the
จะไม่ให้เล่นสักเลนเลยไง
repositions over by the side.
เฮีย
Hits him at the edge. We still don't have the
Wow.
range, but it doesn't seem necessary. Not when they are able to lay a crowd control. Tom comes across and Team Flash with another
เฮีย
Brandon, this Ashe in the mid lane
กูขนลุกแล้วเนี่ย
so incredibly well. Every single gank is being enabled by the Ashe, and this could potentially even be first turret right now.
BDG trying to make his way to the top end, has the gold card, hits it onto Shy. JY denied of the Nimbus strike by the flay away from MT.
It just doesn't feel like T1 is gonna have enough damage in the late game to deal with the composition of Team Flash.
เฮ้ยมันเกินไปไอ้
He's not gonna be able to chunk down a Shen. He's not gonna be able to chunk down a Thresh. So it's gonna be interesting to see how T1 deals with this composition of Team Flash. How are they gonna be able to deal with the ganks?
T1 coming into the competition is one of the biggest esports organizations of all time, and there were so many high expectations placed on them to perform, to really get to a late stage in competition with the mantle of the WCK behind them. They did well in the play-in stage. Were able to come join Team
โอ้โห
Flash.
ข้ารู้ข้าเห็นไอ้สัตว์
What happens here? Zhong has been doing well against Shy, but we have to see even better performance. He needs to finish off the kills, needs to get his team ahead.
That's 4 kills on Zissou, by the way. That's 4 kills already on Lee Sin, as opposed to the 0 kills on JY. JY is nearly 2,000 gold behind right now. That is a massive, massive jungle lead coming up to the first objectives. Because the smite from JY is going to be so much weaker than Zissou's smite as well, because he's a level down.
Yeah. And you have the package, and you have all these big tools out from Team Flash.
เชี่ยแม่งมีแพ็กเกจแม่งมีวาร์ปซ้อน
One of the ones that goes high up on the priority list when we look at the objectives.
But how does T1 fight this though against this power comp of Team Flash in the early game? You have that Lee Sin, you have the Corki package, you have the Ashe arrows. Like how on earth is T1 supposed to?
โอ้ป้อมแตกครับนะฮะไม่ต้องลิฟต์ไม่ต้องมังกรอะไรทั้งนั้นครับป้อมแตกก่อนครับ
They don't play this properly.
Zissou looking for the flank angle, but it's difficult. Trying to get his way in onto
Oh.
T1.
เชี่ยสีสูคนเดียวนะสีสู13
Going to be Zhong actually to take some damage from Team Flash. Team Flash with the first side, the first turret in the bot side.
ป้อมบนป้อมบนป้อมบนเฮียป้อมบนชายเข้าด้วย
Right now.
Okay, they're trying to pull the trigger here. We have the gold card out from BDG, but BDG cannot get in.
ป้อมบนแตกนะครับ
This Flash.
Oh, and
เอาลูนตีป้อมมาด้วย
the Baron lane. He doesn't find it necessary to go in.
That's the arrow. That's the Stand United to go into the fight. JY is gonna have to get away. Tries to flash out. Penguin also trying to get away, but Zissou won't
เดี๋ยวนะ
off the kill onto the Rakan. By the side.
โคโยเต้ซอนย่าเหรอเมื่อกี้
Between empty, but they will get the job done. T1.
ขอดูไอเทมหน่อย
And Team Flash takes everything. Oh no, they take the mid lane turret. They could take the dragon. They take
Coyote
bot
wasn't
lane.
even there.
ไม่ใช่ซอนย่าไม่ใช่ซอนย่า
It was just
มานา
so
มุเนะ
easy and Shy as well, like teleporting in
เอาไว้
and out.
โป๊กวันเล่ฮะ
Perfect timing with that Shen. It's just Team Flash
ตัวมันทองๆเงี้ยดูยาก
6,000 gold ahead. It's nearly as I predicted,
In
right?
the first game.
Yeah, I predicted they would be ahead by 5k gold during the first objective, but this is 6k gold even, so it's even more than I predicted. And as you look into this replay right now, you can see T1 just doesn't have the appropriate composition to fight in that early game. Coyote starts the fight off with his ultimate, and it's just game over. Like, you just don't have enough damage to deal with this. Zissou as well, diving that backline, getting the kills, and unfortunately T1 just cannot take a fight like this.
I mean, after we saw the initial damage out from Coyote, just like,
อื้อ
I
หือ
wanna be
มึงมีพลาดบ้างไหมวะ
JY, can he finish off the kill onto the Wukong in time though?
This
Seems to be the answer. Yes, as the kill goes over to Ellie. Zissou still going aggressive, playing on the absolute limits. T1 have no way of punishing.
And I'm starting to love this Ashe mid lane pick even more now, because if you actually look into the composition of Team Flash, they have the follow-up, they have the
Yang
Thresh
Gang.
resistance, they have the Lee Sin with the damage, and they have the Shen as well with that taunt. So whenever someone gets caught by the Ashe arrow, you're just gonna die.
โอ้
to it.
ดูมันไล่ตีแอดไอ้ยดูมันไล่ตีอาลิมาดิมึงมาดิมึงป่าตามมาด้วย
Not sure what to say about this one. Core almost going down. Zissou will not be able to get him.
Team Flash got both objectives, by the way. Not sure if you saw, but they literally just got both objectives, and they're gonna get a kill here as well.
Well, Zhong's going to try to ignore the turret where he can. Chant the Crystal Arrow will not hit, but it
Back.
doesn't matter because you understand United and Coyote following up for the kill. And we knew the Ashe was going to take it away from T1's composition. They needed it to round off their comp. And so Team Flash took it away, but now in the mid lane, you really start to see its power.
And granted, if you look into the late game this time, it's a bit of a sadder story for T1 because they don't actually have like the super superior composition in the late game. They're now up against an Ashe who scales very well into the late game, up against a Shen, up against a Corki. These are champions that do very, very well into that late game. So how is T1 going to be able to deal with this? And T1 is going to try to defend this turret, but they can't.
Another turret over to Team Flash, the third one of the game.
Every single turret, every single
มัน
T1
เถื่อนมากเลยว่ะ
as opposed to the one turret that T1 has taken. And they're just being so aggressive all the time.
ไอ้เหี้ยเขามี3แล้วนะ
Though they do still
โอ้ยไม่แฟดโดนนะ
Flash away from Jom, but gets caught here as well. Penguin gets caught by the death sentence, won't be able to escape with the battle dance though.
Oh, that Ashe arrow cut off Riven's hair right there. That flash was that was my heart beat from that Ashe arrow there, but he dodged it just in time.
Charm over onto Shy.
เข้าหลังป้อมครับ
Like they're able to finish off a kill.
ไอ้สัตว์เอ็กซอร์ก็หยุดกูไม่อยู่ สีสูบอกมาเหอะมึง
Think of time, but now
สีสูบอกมาให้หมด
of T1. They're gonna try to trade back for a kill. They finally find him with the help of BDG, with the help of Jong, but T1 stuck under the turret, their only lifeblood there.
Team Flash is just not giving a single chance to T1 right now to make a comeback. They're gonna go for this
Oh.
turret as well. And they're gonna go for the fight as well.
The arrow's already back up. It was just used on Jong, but they already have the arrow back up, and Team Flash find the entry angle into the fight.
โอ้
As they will take down 3 on the side of T1.
I actually think Game 1 was not the real Team Flash. This feels more like the real Team Flash. We expected this to happen in Game 1, but they kind of had to get used to the stage. That's what it feels like. This is a different team from Game 1, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It
right?
feels like a whole different team.
10,000 gold lead at 10 minutes.
เสียดายชิบหายไม่ได้ภาคเกมเนี้ย
Look at the Team Flash game, and yeah, this makes
สวัสดีครับ
sense.
ปฏิวัติ
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense anywhere else.
They could have lost Game 1, but Game 2 they're not gonna lose. And as we look into this Coca-Cola pop-off, you can see the beautiful turret dive, right? Like T1 sure got a
เนี่ยน้องดูดิ
against the Shen. Zissou
ไอ้
with that
เหี้ยเอ็กซอร์ก็เอาแม่งไม่อยู่อ่ะ
completely chunks down core, and then he goes in and kills Penguin as well by
เจอกูได้นะ สีสูบอก
but it doesn't matter.
The arrow once again.
โดนแอโร่อีกแล้วดิ
Follow up with BDG. He's in caught out position.
You know what's probably gonna happen to T1? You know those moments when you're sleeping, you get like a sudden nightmare where you fall off a cliff or something? I see T1 in bed
ไอ้
right
เหี้ย
now.
แอดเดินอย่างเงี้ยปกติน้องเคยเจอวะล่ะ
Just wake up screaming.
แอดเดินอยู่คนเดียวอ่ะ
Coyote in my room right now.
Let's hope not for their sakes. For their sakes, let's hope not. But I could definitely see that happen. It's gonna be in my dreams for sure.
Oh yeah, and I mean, look at this aggression. It's just turret after turret, kill after kill, objective after objective. It's just T1 cannot do anything. They're stuck in this game. It's just delaying the inevitable right now. Trying
T1
to
cannot
every single
anything.
turret is getting taken out.
Yeah.
Team Flash
I
is
think
getting
so.
beat away.
Yeah, T1, they have team fighting power in spades, but the issue is how you ever gonna get a team fight when Team Flash have so much.
น้องเชนแม่งออก
Go to the side lane, Zissou's there waiting for you. Coyote has his enchanted crystal arrow.
เชนแม่งออกคอมเพลเลอร์ว่ะ
Prepared to make it an uneven fight.
Zissou
เอ้ยไม่ใช่ดิ
actually
กอเลียส
doubled
เออ
JY. Double.
เชนมันวิ่งไปถอนดื้อๆเลยว่ะ
Actually talking about double.
วิ่งไปถอนวิ่งไปฟันว่ะ
Craziest thing I have ever seen in the jungle in Wild Rift. Like the fact that Zissou has double the amount of gold of JY. He's sitting on 3 items while JY has.
มาแล้วมาแล้วมาแล้วธนูมาแล้วธนูมาแล้วไอ้เหี้ยโดนอีกแล้ว
Keeping around members of T1, we have to watch out for Ellie though, because Ellie's been left alone. A little bit too early into the fight. We do start to see them move in. Shy comes across. Jong's still alive for now. Zissou looking to finish off that first kill. They managed to take down the Riven in exchange for Ellie, and the death sentence back over on the call.
คนมึงน้อยกว่านะ
Managed to hit no as they continue to flash in forward. Shy will get another kill for himself. Zissou
ไปไหน
comes through
ไปไหน
well.
T1 or
ไอสัตว์ไปไหน กูแปะหลังไว้แล้ว
you're behind 40.
โอ้โหช็อต YouTube
The team fight. And we have another Ashe arrow. We approach the team fight with an Ashe arrow, and we ended the team fight with an Ashe arrow. Right
ใคร
there.
พลาดลูวิกไม่พลาด
To see their base fall to the efforts of Team Flash.
Next
Team
dragon
Flash.
is spawning as well. Team Flash is gonna take the dragon. Team Flash is gonna take over. There's only 2 more turrets left. What else is Team Flash supposed to take? The next thing they're gonna take is gonna be the Nexus as well. Like
Baron has yet to spawn, by the way.
Baron is yet to spawn. And how much is the gold lead? 50.
ดูช่วงนี้ได้แจกไหม
12 minutes.
Yes.
ได้แต่เดี๋ยวพี่จบคู่นี้พี่ก็ลงแล้วลูก เออพี่อยากดูคู่นี้เฉย วันนี้พี่มีธุระน่ะ
15 minutes. Let's see if Team Flash can break that record. I'm saying that.
In the most loving way possible, right? As
I'm doing my
someone
best.
that was looking forward to seeing how Team Queso would perform as well. So, Team Flash now trying to close out the game here 2-0 and then move on to the next game in the group stages. Team Flash will see the Baron come up, and we saw how aggressively they were looking to try and pick up the Baron last game.
And Shy is also split pushing, of course, because he's playing that Shan. And unfortunately, John cannot leave his lane right now. He doesn't have a teleport. He doesn't have teleport.
นี่พี่พยายามมองดูแมปนะว่าธนูแม่งจะมาอีกเมื่อไหร่
Because when a fight happens, Shy is gonna teleport, and it's gonna be a 5 versus 4, and T1 can probably not even win a 5 versus 5. So, they actually try to go for Shy right here.
มึงจะตามชายอะนะมึงจะตามเชนเนี่ยนะมึงไปลุมเชนเพื่อ
is here with a wrecking ball and taking it apart.
ไอสัตว์มึงส่วนตัวแล้ววันเนี้ย
Team Flash poised to end the game.
ไม่ถึง20ว่ะ
13.5 minutes in, Penguin with the final stance, trying to stop Team Flash's push, and he will get it done just in time for the rest of T1 to get back into base. Send Team Flash packing.
This is unbelievable. Now I can see how Team Flash could beat the WRL teams. I mean, this performance is just phenomenal, and like, this is how these guys won 4-0 against Flashholes. Flashholes is an incredible team, but then this team is like a whole step on top, and I still feel we haven't seen the full potential of them. Like, this game does show how good they are, but I actually still think they have more, because this is only their first series.
Yeah, it is still only their first series, and I think we have a lot in store for us, as we will see quite a few first seed teams play to date, right? The last 4 that have not shown any games, Team Flash being the first one to do so, and then we have Leviton coming up right after this one as well. I mean, a bunch of good games.
It's got to be super exciting. Also seeing Immortals from NA.
แตก
Nice break off onto Penguin with the death sentence. The package will start to come in.
บอกเลยแตก
Over by the back gets Penguin. Tags him as he tries to escape from his jungle, but T1 lose 2 through this trade, and now flashing forward, Ellie gets tagged for the gold card, but a nice flash.
โอ้ยแฟดทอนว่ะ
Taunt will manage to land. Nexus won't fall just yet as T1 continue to hold on. Empty falls to Ignite, a double for Core as he's still looking to hold on to the game. Going a little bit too aggressive. Now it's looking probably.
อย่าซ่าอย่าซ่าอย่าเถียงอย่าเถียง
BDG overextends to the back. Will find himself 1 kill on
อย่าเถียง
but still going down to Zissou.
That should be game. I'm not sure if John can defend this against two waves.
7 seconds on members of T1. Can they manage to finish this one off in time? Team Flash knocking away the Nexus, but they've been sent back once again.
Jong.
Guardian Angel up here for Zissou as he fights off Jong. A little bit more damage. The Belgans gives the shield over to the Riven, but Zissou's Guardian Angel procced, and he's stuck between 2 members of T1.
Oh, and Baron is up, Grandin. Baron is up. T1 just killed every single one from Team
เสีย
Flash.
ตกเป็นลูกเลย
Can't do the Baron because they're also dead. Like, it's not like everyone from Team Flash died. T1 is also dead. So now we could see the potential of how T1 could win a team fight. They could catch out someone from Team Flash. If they catch out the squishy member, like the Lee Sin, like the Ashe, like the Corki, that's how they could potentially get picks in team fights and win it in the long term. But it's
เฮ้ยมันไม่พลิกลูกลูวิกมันไม่มีทางพลิกแล้ว
but they're still so behind right now.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem very feasible right now, especially with how low the Nexus has already fallen every
อันนี้ทีมแฟดเล่นแล้ว
Yeah, and,
slowly whittles down.
and there you can see it, right? Like these are ways that they could win team fights. Ari Charm, Twisted Fate, Gold Card. That is the only way. And then Jong in the longer term fight as well. Here you can see it. He does so much damage on that Riven too.
He does manage to get quite a bit done, especially since he was targeted quite a bit by the rest of the enemy team. Was able to pick up some health in the fountain and then come back in. And
yeah, and here as well, you can see him go in. Yeah, you can see him go in, do so much damage, and like, oh, they try to catch someone again right here.
บาลอนมึงเล่นกับเชนอย่างเงี้ยมึงโดนบาลอน
very beautiful mechanics out from Jong. Instantly executes the Shen.
Oh, it's Baron though. It is Baron. Baron is up right now, and T1 is gonna desperately try to look for it.
JY by the back of the pit. Empty's gonna
โอ้
come.
ยเดอะบ็อกสวยสัตว์
Arrow lands on the wrong target, lands onto the clone. They move on the core now. Core starts to dash away with the Spirit Rush, but they manage to take down JY. Baron has reset in that time. Jong still.
โอ้อาลีบอกเกี่ยวอะไรกับกูวะเนี่ย
Find some value in a side lane.
But where is Jong? Where is BDG?
ไปไหน
This was a potential fight for T1 to win, but now unfortunately everything falls apart. I'm not sure why Jong was split pushing the bot lane, because if T1 had won this team fight,
เชนสวิตช์รองเท้าครับน่าจะเปลี่ยนเป็นเทเลพอร์ตแล้ว ตอนแรกเขาออกไอ้นี่มาตอนแรกออกกอเลียสมาแล้วก็เปลี่ยนเป็นกากอยตอนนี้อ๋อไอ้เหี้ยขายเทเลพอร์ตมาเป็นกอเลียสอีกแล้ว
They managed to take down Coyote and still holding on to the game long enough. Nexus will not fall. Standing United channel here by Shy, trying to make his way onto Empty. Coming in and looking for the taunt, will be able to land it onto Jong. Finally, the defender keeping the game going is taken
มึง
down.
ดื้อเนาะ
Amazing defense here from T1, here from BDG.
ไอ้เหี้ยแม่งดื้อจริงว่ะ
Has fallen below 1,000 health 3 times at this point.
Oh, the Elder Dragon is up. T1 could win this. T1 could kill them. The Elder is up. Team Flash screwed up.
TDG
ไอ้เหี้ยแม่งดื้อว่ะ
no card and Shy is
เอาเว้ย BDG เว้ย
Flash is dead and T1 have fall going for them.
Oh, no way. What did Team Flash
เอาเว้ย
do? What did they just do? They
คัมแบ็กเหรอวะ
that composition of T1. They did get caught by the AoE charms. They did get
ขอเกม 3 หน่อยไอ้เหี้ย
for T1. This could just turn the game.
If T1 are able to get to this dragon, more fight potential available, but teleport's starting to come through for Team Flash.
เกม 3 เลยเพื่อน เกม 3 เลยเพื่อน
Over right this instant, he spots them out, gets into the pit with the arrow, getting some crowd control done. That's Dragon going over to Team 1, but Zizou running over from the side as well, gets the flank angle down. JY starts to escape, but finished
มึงลงมา 2 คนเนี่ยนะ
So that's a one-for-one trade. T1 is still fine. I just cannot believe that T1 could possibly make a comeback in this game because now T1 has
มึงลงมา 2 คนมึง
only one Elder Dragon, so it's not gonna be that strong. But that's still an Elder Dragon, which will allow you to do true damage, and it just gives you massive buffs.
How has T1 held on to this game this long?
Yeah. And how are they maybe even winning right now? Because they're gonna try to go for it. This is a 50-50. Anyone
Zhong
could take
is
it.
insane. He's been able to keep this game going much longer than Tattoo. That's the
ขวาเข้า
BDG with flank.
ล่างมา
He's gonna be able to
แอดแตก แอดแตก แอดแตก
but the SQ takes down the
โคโยโต้แตก
Baron still up.
เอ็มตี้แตก
Almost with a kill.
เอาเว้ย มีเกม 3 มีเกม 3
In the pit waiting for him as well. LEDs to start running into the base of T1 right this instant, but he stays in the pit instead.
มีเกม 3 โอ้ยเหี้ยมันยังแย่งได้อีก
Going on the Penguin now, but Ellie won't be able to get much done here. Shine joins in with the Stand United BDG in pit. He still has a flash, he has a go-kart. Jung comes through. This rivet does so much damage. Shine does not have a way to fight this. BDG with the go-kart again. They go on to Shine. The base is not in danger, and so they can run Shine down in the mid lane. T1
แตก 3 ทีแล้ว แตก 3 ทางแล้ว แตก 3 ทางแล้ว แตก 3 ทางแล้ว
Took that Baron as well. He smited it down for like what 40 HP. Unbelievable for Team Flash. And as you look into this replay, this was so scary for Team Flash. Jong with a beautiful flank coming in with his ultimate and BDG from behind as well. Coyote had no chance. This fight was looking like over for T1. You can see it. The fight was pretty much over. It's a 3 versus 2. Unfortunately, Lee Sin is dead as well. This is a free Baron for T1, you'd think, right? But then you can see
ถ้าได้นะ
it's done. And here,
ไอ้เหี้ยถ้าได้บาลอนอ่ะ แม่งมีสิทธิ์แบบพลิกเลยนะ
50 HP himself as well, Grandin.
That's the superpower. When you're 50 HP, you smited it at 50 HP.
Right, he did it. That saved the game right there, by the way. Just because he got that Baron, it didn't allow T1 to actually push out their base. Because, of course, Team Flash still has 2 turrets. And now they have the Baron as well.
Final Baron still here for LE. BDG with his ultimate trying to find a way into the fight here. We'll go into the eye brush, trying to look for a flank angle on
โอ้
the
แอดฟรีสัตว์เลย
side. They managed to find the first kill on the Penguin, and for all their efforts, T1 start to get run down by Team Flash. A response here from Zhong once again.
เหี้ยแอดไม่สนแล้ว แอดดันแล้ว แอดดันแล้ว
The flank over by the side.
แอดไม่สนแล้ว แอดยิงบ้านแล้ว ยิง ยิง
Because the next
ยิง
ball and it's
ยิง
Flash
2-0
2-0 win.
What a game. What a game. Did we expect to see this
What
happen
the
right there?
game.
It's down 15k gold. But then they actually
Oh
nearly
my
made that comeback right there. Team
holy.
Flash, well, they were sweating during that last game.
Yeah, not too happy with that one. I think they would have been all smiles if they had managed to close out the game when they were supposed to, but you can see now it's a case of we were supposed to have a one game. If we had lost that, it would have been very problematic.
Oh wow, I'm just surprised. I'm still so surprised because T1 actually played that composition so incredibly well in that late game, playing with the Twisted Fate, playing with the Ahri, constantly catching out an enemy champion, and then at the end of the day they won team fights because they forced a fight where they had already killed a few champions of Team Flash, and then they got the Elder Dragon. They nearly won the game. They nearly got the Baron. Unfortunately, got stolen away. It was just unfortunate events for T1. They could have taken this game.
Such a stout defense by
Whoa, whoa,
T1
whoa,
there,
whoa,
right?
whoa,
T1
whoa,
were able to
whoa,
hold
whoa.
on incredibly well. Team Flash coming into this, we knew they were going to be strong, and they demonstrated to us between games 1 and 2
had some difficulty closing it out, but I want to attribute that to T1's ability to stall out, knowing they might still have a chance. Jong's performance on that Riven, amazing there.
Oh yeah, definitely, and we have to talk about Team Flash as well, right? This was their debut in the Wild Rift Icons. This was their first series, and they did show how scary they were. Regardless of those mistakes, right? This is still their first series. Teams can make mistakes. They're gonna have to talk about what they need to do better, but I expect Team Flash to show a very good performance, especially against the WRL teams as well.
โอเคทุกคนวันนี้พี่ขออนุญาตดูแค่คู่เดียวนะครับ เพราะว่ามีคู่น่าดูก็จะไปเป็นคู่3มั้งนะฮะเดี๋ยวพอดีวันนี้พี่ติดธุระนะเชื่อแต่เป็น 2-0 ที่อิ่มมากพวกมึงของจริง
Sure, we gotta see some WCS going through as well.
ไว้เจอกันจ้ะ
Maybe we'll have to see. But I'm still feels like a good performance here from T1. They showed us an ability to hold on to games from a negative position, and we're able to keep things going. We're almost able to find some re-entry angles back in the game, but Zisu's ability to get that Baron